Hello there. Yes, I am live. I was working on the next episode of the relay, but I felt like talking some smack. Because whenever Canelo Alvarez makes an announcement of any kind, you get the same kind of conversations and the same kinds of arguments. It's monotonous, but go through the motions. We go through it. I think it was Steve Kim that said it best. Shout out to my man Steve Kim, the Korean Cassell. He said the same people that'll tell you that Canelo Alvarez never fights anybody good are the same people that are excited about Benavidez versus Caleb Plant, who Canelo knocked out. That kind of deal. Was goody Candace, was goody Country, was goody Mirage, was goody Alex of the Boxing Bodega. And I see my man Mirage in the comments. I see him. And I fucks with Mirage. Don't get it twisted. He's a good dude, but we just never going to agree on this Canelo thing because that's not the way boxing works. You don't pay the cost to be the boss and pay your dues so that you could bow down to every, Joe Schmo that has an unbeaten record. A big part of the reason that there's a proliferation of young fighters with unbeaten records, and Julio says this all the time. I think it's either Julio or Michael who says it all the time, that when you see a proliferation of fighters with unbeaten records, what that means is that they're not fighting each other, which is true. I think the best example of that, or at least one of the best examples of that, is the welterweight division. Boots is unbeaten, Virgil's unbeaten, Errol's unbeaten, Crawford's unbeaten. And yeah, it is because they're not fighting each other. I mean, irrespective of who you want to blame, it is because they're not fighting each other. That's a millennial sentiment that the unbeaten record is oh so important. If it were important, then Andre would be more popular, then Charlo would be more popular, then Benavidez would be more popular, then Morrell would be more popular. But what you see, and these guys like to deny it, but as much as they deny it, it doesn't change anything, that it's the guys with unbeaten records that are unpopular. They're the ones that are unpopular. Why? Because you're not fighting in signature fights. Those are the guys that are unpopular. That proliferation of guys. I was goody Victor Jimenez. Que lo que? We need to get ESPN to pick up these boxer cards if all these Matchroom fighters are leaving. Yeah, but you know what the other thing about Buatsi leaving? And shout out to Beats, because Beats said it. I think it was Beats who said it best. That it for Matchroom, it's not a big deal, because if boxers willing to pay this guy a whole bunch of money to fight in fights that really aren't big fights, then go ahead, bro, because we're not going to give you that. If we'll give you money to fight Bivol, we'll give you money to fight, Callum Smith. But if what you saying is we got to give you what they giving you, all right, bro, you go ahead, bro. Just do your thing over there and do your thing over there. Because what isn't being said, and not exclusive to the Joshua Buatsi thing, I said this a couple of weeks ago when the Lawrence Okoli stuff was going on, that it's all well and good for Ben Shalom to pick up those fighters. It's all well and good. Like fair play, free enterprise, it's cool. It's all good. But at some point, you're going to have to turn them into draws. You can have the ingredients, you can have the recipe. But now we need to see, can you actually cook? Can you actually cook? Like, okay, you got him. Now, do for him what Matchroom couldn't, Do for Lawrence what Matchroom couldn't. Do for Joshua Buatsi what Matchroom couldn't. And that hasn't happened yet. I'm not going to be impatient with them because he does deserve time. Lawrence hasn't debuted under Boxer yet. He's about to. And Joshua Buatsi, he's about to debut under Boxer in May. But now, and Beats said it, you talking about an app. My God. All right. You talking about an app. When you fight on Sky, you better do numbers then. Because if your whole thing was, I'm not getting seen, I'm not getting looked at, my God, that's cool. We'll see what your numbers look like now, you know what I mean? Because the fights you about to be in, like everybody know you ain't about to fight Dan Aziz. That's not next. You crazy? They're going to build that. So while they building that, who are you going to be fighting? You know, and I've already said most of what I had to say about that. Was goody, my man Quentin? I'm about to open up the chat to the panel, and you know, I'm trying to get some new opinions out here. Q, hit that motherfucking link, motherfucker. What's goody, coach? Got my man, the coach, in the building. One of the greatest Capricornian minds in pugilism. You know what I mean? And yeah, like everybody's making it a you know, I don't know what it is. I think that just after a while there are people that they don't like when someone is successful. So, you know, they make it a habit. I remember they used to do this to Jay-Z when I was a kid, when he was really blowing up. They hated him for how successful he was, you know, and it became like a thing to attack Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, I always respected his work ethic that, you know, summer after summer and season after season, he was putting out hits. But there was a lot of people, they didn't really, you know, they just didn't like Jay for whatever reason. And I kind of see that with Eddie Hearn in the sense that y'all celebrating that who mic is that? Y'all celebrating that Joshua Buatsi left as if he's about to go fight in big fights when he's not. You know what I mean? Like he ain't. It ain't like he going over there and his title's over there or something like that. It ain't nothing really over there except for Dan Aziz. So what is there really to celebrate? I feel like, yo, if anything, y'all celebrating him ducking, yo. Like if they offered you Bivol, you a professional fighter. You're a professional. I thought your goal was to become a champion and all those different things. No, not for that guy. That guy know who he is, and I'm gonna say this. I didn't say this in the videos that I uploaded. But I offered the Bolotnik fight and the Richards fight. I started looking at him funny, like, yo, dog, this dude don't got no gas tank. And I don't like how you react when you get hit. You're one of those guys that when you get hit, you freeze. It's other guys, they roll with it or whatever. It don't really affect like how they fighting. But he's one of those guys like Berlanga, like Lopez, that when he get hit, you can see that he kind of stopped. You know what I mean? Like he stopped. Everything stopped. And I suspect not only does he have a suspect chin, he has a suspect gas tank, which is why you just throw two punches and it's mad quiet for the rest of the round. Two punches, mad quiet for the like, yo, bro, put some punches together, bro, make it happen. And it don't be like that. You know, so that's just my thoughts on that. But I want to say this. I want to ask, you know, how does the panel feel about Buatsi going over there? Just how do you guys feel about that?
I don't think it was a smart move because I mean, who's he going to fight? What's he really going to do over there?
That's a damn good
That's the point, though.
Aside from twiddle his thumbs, you know.
That's the point. He doesn't want to fight big fights. He's a house cat. You ever see? He's a house cat that likes his automatic feeder, his heating pad. He likes scratches. Like he doesn't like. He sees the outside cats and he gets scared. Like he fucking turned down Bivol. The Jean Pascal fight fell through. What else? Didn't want to fight Callum Smith. Like, bro, why would you?
Vlasov neither. I don't think he was hurt. I never thought that he was hurt in the Vlasov fight, and I actually gave him a pass because I said I don't know why they putting him in that Vlasov fight. He gonna lose that shit. Fast forward, oh, he's injured. Yeah, I fucking bet he's injured. I fucking bet. Y'all know what the fuck. You knew what time it was, bro. Vlasov is not to be played with, bro. He would have beat Joshua Buatsi. So if you look at it, you're supposed to fight Vlasov. You didn't. You're supposed to fight Pascal. You didn't. You're supposed to fight Bivol. You didn't. And then he tried to give you Smith. You didn't. And then Frank come in and he offered you Anthony. You didn't fight him. Bro, you don't want to fight. That's what I see. Like, he don't want to fight, bro. He don't want none of them guys.
Julius, okay. Just say this before about Team Sue. You don't want to Team Sue to fight Jermel Charlo. I feel that if Jermel fights Tim, win or lose, Tim is gonna get better after that fight. That's not the case with Buatsi. I see Buatsi like the kind of fighter that is just one devastating defeat to being a ruined fighter.
I agree.
To become a gatekeeper.
I agree.
Not even a gatekeeper, a journeyman. Because this guy I don't see him beating, not even Beterbiev and people. I don't see him beating Callum Smith. No.
No. I mean,
Callum Smith knocks Buatsi the fuck out.
let me go to Quentin. Let me go to Quentin because Quentin don't get the chance to be on the panel too much. Quentin, just what do you make of the Buatsi thing, man? Like, just what are your what were your thoughts of him before all this shit happened? That he's leaving. What were your thoughts of him as a fighter leading up to that?
I mean, to be honest with you, a couple of years ago, I was really high on him. I thought that he had a really good chance to be a really strong contender at 175, just based on his amateur pedigree, based on the fact that, he was smoking dudes and he looked like a guy who was a seek and destroy kind of a boxer. But as the level stepped up to that, that fringe contender title level, it seems like he's become more reserved and he became more cautious. And it's interesting because it's not like he's been knocked down. I mean, maybe he's been hurt a couple of times, but he's never really been in serious trouble of being stopped. And typically that's what you see from guys once they're knocked down or they get knocked out or something like that. But it seems like, in my opinion, he's just cautious. And this speaks volumes because he was really annoyed at the press conference with the questions that he was getting asked by the interviewers. And the funny part to me was that he was making the rationale behind the fact that, the offers that he got for Yard, the offer that he got for a Bivol fight came with strings attached. Well, my thing is that's the same thing that any other promoter would do in that situation. If they're going to give you a voluntary shot, they're going to make you have to fight on their platform. Why would they give you the title and then let you walk? That makes no sense.
Exactly. Nobody does business like that. I want to go to Coach. Coach, you see the situation with Joshua Buatsi, and I have a different question for you because he's trained by Virgil Hunter. We all know that Virgil Hunter quite famously trained Andre Ward, but it seems that he never had the success with any other fighter that he had with Andre. You saw, Tony Yoka got his ass kicked again this past weekend, and then you see how Joshua Buatsi's looking. And then you remember that, some of those times that Amir Khan got knocked the fuck out, Virgil was his trainer. Do you feel that Virgil is overrated?
With all due respect to Virgil Hunter, yes, he's overrated. He's definitely overrated as a trainer. He had a phenomenal talent with Andre Ward. I don't think no one can deny that. But outside of that, what has he done? He hasn't done anything else. He's a name. He got his name from Andre Ward for the most part. That's what put him on the map. Buatsi, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't want nobody to shoot me, but I wasn't really too crazy about him. You know what I mean? As a fighter, I'm just being honest with you. Like,
no. I was where Q was when he started out. I was like, oh, this guy got some shit. Yeah. And then I watched him. I watched him in the Bolotniks fight, and I was like, nah, son, this was supposed to been over. Then I seen him in the Richards fight, and that's when all the flags came up. Like, nah, son. I don't want to hear about the Bivol because you know what you could say that Bivol didn't ragdoll Richards. That's cool. But Bivol had already fought Jean Pascal, Joe Smith Jr., Sullivan Barrera. You see what I mean?
Right.
He already fought guys. So even if he don't look amazing, he already fought guys. Now you hear there's supposed to be an acid test for you to prove that you can fight the Bivols of the world. And that shit was the most polite light heavyweight fight in the last 2 years. That's the most polite shit.
Right.
Does it seem like he's regressing?
I believe that honestly, yes. He don't want to go for shots. He don't like, and it's just like Q said that it's not like the guy got dropped or anything, or like he almost got knocked out. But there's something timid about that guy. Now, what I suspect is this guy has a gas tank issue. That's been my suspicion for at least a little over a year now, that This guy don't throw punches and bunches because he can't. He'll gas out. And he don't open up a lot because he don't take a good punch. Like, he a suspect to me, and I feel, you going to get exposed on Sky. Sooner or later, you're going to get exposed.
Yeah.
Is he regressing or has he just found his level? Because I would argue that he's just found his level. I think he's probably just a European level guy. He's an EBU title kind of a guy. I think
he's a Matthew Beterbiev, bro. He's a Matthew Beterbiev, the French guy, the Olympian that Callum knocked out. He's that, bro. He's that.
I think he can beat Aziz, but I think that's about as high as he goes. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but that's what I'm saying. That like you a local cat, yo. You a local cat. Like you local. Like all like that crop of Olympians, with the exception of maybe Joe Joyce. You know, just that the light heavyweights, the heavyweights. Think about it. Tony Yoka won gold in those games, bro. Tony Yoka won the fucking gold. Like that was that year's gold medalist in the heavyweight division. The light heavyweight cycle, those guys wasn't like Matthew Bowder-Leak, who Callum Smith knocked the fuck out. That was one of the medalists. Buatsi was another, and I forget who the other guy was.
Cordina was the best guy out of that group.
Yes. Literally.
But Buatsi had the hype because he was knocking people out in the amateurs, though. Like at that Olympics, I think he knocked a couple people out. But yeah, I agree. Like I was high on him when he first came out, but like, man, like you haven't done shit, and you're 30 years old already. And Yard didn't have like a tenth of that amateur pedigree, and he's already been to world level twice.
And what's crazy is I used to talk shit about Yard, right? And wow, bro, like Tom show you that like your dog Yard got dog in him. We can say what we want, but when they told that motherfucker, yo, you got to go to Chelyabinsk, Russia. Will you go? He fucking went, bro. Like
outside cat.
That's how.
Meanwhile, Buatsi was quoted in saying that, oh, he's still open for that fight with Anthony Yard, but he got to come to Sky. And I'm like,
shit, man.
There you go.
Yo, listen, I didn't get to say this, but like, listen, this Joshua Buatsi guy, man, listen, I liked him at first, man. I thought he was, was an explosive puncher, but the guy fights in spurts, man. And what this movie made, what this essentially signifies is this guy is moving at an incremental pace and really doesn't want to shoot for the stars, man.
Yeah, like at what age does he want to step up? 33, 34?
I mean, he's already 30, and it's like he seems really grounded. And I like judging by the way he talks about himself. Like I don't sense any aspiration to be great, man. To be honest with you, like quite frankly, in my opinion, I think he doesn't have that high of a ceiling.
No, I don't either, bro. I don't like some guys.
I could be wrong, but it's like
no, you're not wrong. I'm telling you, that's a Matthew Bowder-Leak. That's what he is. Like you like that guy, bro. Like they'll put you in there with a guy and he'll knock you the fuck out, bro. Like that's real shit.
He's moving like Chris
was
Eubank.
Really trying to set him up, but like not like for like to setting up for failure, but like they want to see what you're about, and you turn that down, a 7-figure payday for a world title shot just to fight domestically. Okay, if that's how you feel,
And the shit is that what they offered him, what motherfuckers got to understand, Bob is not breaking the bank to pay Artur Beterbiev. They offered you the kind of money that he get, and he got 3 titles, my guy. 3 titles. He don't make crazy money. He make 1.2. 1.5. Brody, that's what they offered you for B-Vol, bro. So, you a spoiled brat, my guy. What it really is, you don't want to work for your bread. You don't want to be great. You just, Sky got the checkbook out, and I'm not knocking it, but I'm not going to call it nothing else, neither. I'm going to call it what it is. It's a duck.
Doesn't it sound like, though, this is the same thing that Boo Boo did? I mean, with, like, kind of avoiding fights, and also Berlanga. Like 2 guys that don't want to like move up in competition.
Bro, Eubank.
It almost seems like it's very telling that these guys only want to fight a certain level of caliber because they don't want to lose. They don't lose whatever marquee appeal they think they have.
No, I agree with all of that. I mean, that's exactly what it is. I want to go to our Australian correspondent, Mirage. Mirage, have you seen Buatsi in action? What were your thoughts of him if you have seen him in action, and what do you make of his decision?
Okay. To me, when you're 30 years old, you have 16 pro fights, and you're offered some big fights. This is your opportunity to step up, hit the big time. And you start complaining about terms and trying to dictate, get the fuck out of here. You're not a serious top contender anymore. To me, this guy is happy. He wants to play it safe. And that's about it. Like, I've seen him. Like, to me, he's strange. Like, he has some nice tools. He has some nice tools.
Good jab. He has a good jab.
Yeah, nice tools, and the way he puts punches together. But he does fight in spurts. It's just strange. It's like it's a mental thing. He just doesn't have that type of mentality to like the hunger, I guess, to take the next step. And to me, when you reject those fights in his position, like he doesn't have time. I mean, it's just a fucking waste of time. I'm not interested in those fighters, to be honest.
No, you hit the nail on the head, and I think what a part of it is that the light heavyweight division is deep. It is a deep division. So, maybe at welterweight you can find a couple of Karen Chukatsians, So, maybe you can find a couple of guys that you could step up more gradually. But what I do notice at light heavyweight, if you put him in there, for example, with today's Vosdik, that has only fought once in the last 4 years, I would pick Vosdik to beat him. I would, I think today's Vosdik, he'll beat Buatsi. He got more tools than Buatsi. And I feel like the average guy walking around at 175 will probably whoop his ass, and that's why he don't want to step up, because the average guy, like, who here is confident that he could beat Zerto? I'm not.
No.
I don't see him beating Zerto at all.
He'd have too many problems with the size differential.
Well, what is it saying? What is it saying? Like, what is it? Not metal, but what is steel sharpens steel? So
Iron.
Yeah, you can only become a better fighter and really know what your worth is in the ring and what your skill set is if you're actually fighting a guy that you potentially can't beat. I mean, isn't there why we give like Tank so much grief? Because the guys that he's fighting, we basically know they're preordained to lose. So, I mean, to me, it's no different than a guy like that who's unwilling to challenge himself. It's a very, very safe way of trying to box. And I mean, I guess make money. But anybody who actually understands boxing at all can see right through that bullshit that they don't want to move up.
I also like to add that presentation they had. I mean, it just fell just flat because how is it that you don't stay in Matchroom to fight to chase greatness, man. You don't go after Yard who's on BT, but you sign with Sky. Oh, quite frankly, yes, they did. They still hold a lot of numbers, hold a lot of eyeballs. But what do they have as far as personnel? In the light heavyweight division, who are they setting you up with? They haven't even announced a fight.
Nothing. It's just like Beats said it. Shout out to Beats. I don't know if he's listening, but he said it best. Y'all did a press conference and y'all didn't even announce a fight. Y'all didn't say nothing about what fights it is y'all gonna make. The news, the whole press conference was he left Matchroom. That's the press conference, but not, he gonna fight so-and-so. We finna do this. What kind of goofy ass shit is this? And this is why I stress that Ben, you could get them fighters. You got Natasha, you got Savannah, you got fucking Okoli, you got Buatsi, you got a lot of fighters that used to be at Matchroom. Now you need to promote because you have the fighters now. You got a decent looking stable. You got a couple of youngsters that you're bringing through, like Carolyn Dubois, Frazier Clark, Ben Whitaker. Dan Aziz is 33, so I can't even call him a youngster. This is a 33-year-old prospect. You know what I mean? He's another Blair Cobbs. Yeah, but you got some.
He comes from the white collar circuit. Like he's like a accountant or some shit who started boxing.
Jesus Christ! I ain't mad at him though. I'm just saying that's what they got to develop into marquee attractions. But at this point, you do have a champion. You do have Lawrence Okoli. You got a couple of guys. Now, what we need to stop hearing about is Matchroom, and you need to promote. Because that's all the news that they seem to make is, this person left Matchroom. Okay, and now what? Like Okoli's fighting David Light. You better look good. That's all I'm going to say. Because you can't blame it on Eddie anymore. The weirdest shit about Lawrence Okoli is you changed your decorum, right? On the premise of the zone. Okay, most of your fights were actually on Sky. And you still wasn't popular. Most of your fights was on Sky. You wasn't popular on Sky. So was it really Eddie? Or is it just that you have a style that is not fun to watch?
He all these guys isn't a guy that does a lot of self-promotion either. If you look at it, man, he's a quiet dude. He takes a lot of time away outside of the ring, which I guess is fine if you're willing to, be in front of the camera and promote yourself. But it seems like he's just content to do his 1 or 2 fights a year, and then he's off into hiding, and then he comes back to do his fight. Seems like he bears the bare minimum at this point as far as promoting himself.
No, you're not wrong. And I feel that what they think, like what Joshua Buatsi think or what he expects or what Lawrence Okoli expects is, you were supposed to turn me into AJ. Motherfucker. Listen, man. Lawrence Okolie fights is hard to watch sometimes, bro. Like, really, though. Like, that's not being overly critical. It's a clinch fest, bro. You tall for nothing. Got long arms for nothing. You don't really be using them shits. And you just tie the guy up. At least be like Sebastian Fundora and throw some goddamn punches or something. You just tying the guy up all the goddamn time. You too big for that shit. Motherfuckers don't watch Cruiserweight for that shit. I watch the Cruiserweight division because of the probability that somebody gonna get their jaw broke or knocked out. That's why I love the Cruiserweights, because that almost always happens. Fuck ain't out here for these clinch fests.
Yeah, I'm not really for fucking stingy punchers, which I kind of characterize Buatsi for, because he does kind of fight in spurts, you know, here and there. But I haven't seen much from him to say he could be competing among the best. I haven't seen it yet.
I don't think he can, to be completely honest with you. I see another European level fighter, which I don't mean it as a knock, but I mean that's where the buck stops.
Even Hurricane Hank is saying he doesn't see the dog in Buatsi. You know,
it's not one there, because he was fighting a domestic level guy in Craig Richards, and that's why I watch those fights, because those fights are actually important. Like, you could argue that Joe Joyce versus Daniel Dubois, when they fought, that was a domestic level fight to see who the world level fighter is. The same with Joshua and White. That was a domestic level fight when they fought, two young unbeaten guys from the same area to see who's the more world level guy. And with Craig Richards and Joshua Buatsi, that was the deal. This is a domestic level fight to see if you're a cut above Craig Richards. And even though you won, I didn't feel like you was really a cut above that guy. I felt like, nah, you on a level with that guy, because you was just mad timid this whole fight. Just 1-2 and go back to moving him around and feeling him out, and another 1-2, and then shit'll get quiet again. It's like, bro, like, come on now. Like, you gotta steamroll this guy, bro. And I know B-Ball didn't steamroll him, but look at all the other shit he did. Look at what he just did to Zerto late last year. Would you do that to Zerto? We know the answer. No.
Nope.
The volume will overwhelm him with a guy like Zerto, because you don't throw enough to keep him off you. You gonna throw one right hand, and yeah, you might rattle him, but he gonna keep coming forward. That's what I mean. That when Joshua Buatsi get hit, you see that he stopped. Like, he stopped. Zerto is the kind of moron. He'll get hit, yeah, but he'll keep fighting though, because that's what you want. Like, no, you got to keep fighting, bro. You don't just stop. You got to keep fighting. That's what I see that Berlanga don't have, that Lopez don't have, which is weird because that kid could box. But when he get hit, he stopped. Like, ugh. You know what I mean? Let me read the super chat. Will says, Ryan Garcia has been active for 7 years for 23 fights, while Buatsi has been active for 6 years with only 16 fights. But he's 6 years older. I don't know how he can find success this late in the game. He just looking for the biggest check now, bro. The constant need to mention Matchroom is a clear sign of desperation. To your point about how Jay-Z, I remember when everyone name dropped him for clout. Yeah, everybody hated Jay when he was doing his thing. And it's because he was consistent. Even there was a video that they did recently that Jay was never the hottest rapper in any era, which in many ways is true. But look at who his competition was, bro. Look at DMX, the Lox, motherfucking Eminem. It was hard, bro. You know what I mean?
I got a question. Who's the guy with the GIF in the panel?
Oh, that's Mirage, bro.
Oh, that's cool.
That's dope, bro. Now, I don't know how the fuck he figured out how to do that shit, but that shit is dope. And what I'm going to say is, just past that, because I want to cap that off. At the end of the day, Ben, now it's time to promote, though. Like it is. You have a stable. It's time to promote. If you're trying to say that y'all do it better at Sky, show me. Show me. You know what I mean? Because now you got fighters now. You got young fighters for the future and fighters for the present. Now you got to show me that you could do a big show. Show me that you could turn Lawrence into something that Eddie did not. You got to show me. Same with Joshua Buatsi. Even though we know what his deal is, you don't want to be nothing. You don't want to be nothing.
I think the only one with any real like potential is Ben Whitaker in that regard. Like as far as the males go, because okay, Caroline Dubois, but it's Ben Whitaker, and that dude had 2 fights, and then he's just like gone AWOL. Like I don't know where the fuck he is. He had 2 fights in a row at the end of last year, and I haven't seen him since.
Like
Yeah, still
I see
early
them
too.
signing like young talent, up and comers, man, and they're making good strides, as far as like catching up. But who would they have as their face of Sky Boxer?
They want Lawrence to be the face, which is the funny part.
Yeah, they need a
Hey,
heavyweight.
Well, they have Frazier Clark, but it's still early in the matchmaking. Like the most I heard of Frazier could fight. Don't get it twisted. Like at least based on what I've seen, he got something.
Right.
But the matchmaking has been too soft for someone of his ilk. They're like, bro, come on now. Like there was one fight. It was like, bro, who made this fight, bro? Why even make this shit, bro? You'd have been better off pulling somebody from the audience than making this bullshit. Mr. T says, doesn't want Yard, doesn't want Bivol. Buatsi's heart pumps Kool-Aid and is out for easy checks. Yeah, man. You just want easy money. While Scott got that checkbook out, get it while the getting is good, I guess. You know what I mean? Get it while it's good. We gonna move on to the Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis fight, that a lot of people.
Oh, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that Ryan and Oscar and Gervonta, they're saying that whoever the winner of the fight is becomes the face of boxing in America. What do you guys think about that? Q, what do you think about that?
Nah, man, I don't see it that way. Reason I don't see it that way is because if you're gonna be the face, you have to at least be the biggest draw in your own country first. And if Tank is only doing 300 max, and Ryan has never done anything on pay-per-view before, it's hard for me to say that them winning that fight automatically makes them the face over a guy who does 2 to 3 times more pay-per-views every single time he goes out without somebody else that's a big name on the other side.
Coach, what do you think about that? Coach fell asleep.
Oh, he's there.
Al Heyman got him.
Al Heyman got him. Villain, what do you think about that?
I'm old school, so it's impossible for me to say any guy who doesn't actually have a real belt has the capacity, in my opinion, to be the face of boxing in the country. Sadly, though, because Americans don't support boxing as much as other countries do, who else is drawing better? I mean, Spence Drew, that one time he drew 250K. I mean, clearly Canelo's the face of boxing here, at least in this continent, South America, Central America. You could probably say not worldwide, but he'd be the best argument, him or Antonio Joshua. But being self-proclaimed, I mean, there's a lot of people who self-proclaim things all the time. That doesn't mean that it's factual based, but unfortunately, the bar is fairly low right now in United States. So I don't really. I mean, sure, I guess you're the face of boxing. I guess it's like having the best C-level score. So I'm the best mediocre. Congratulations, I suppose.
Bruh, I was trying to click over, man. Bruh, listen, bruh. This is so comical. And Jules, I'm fixing to tell you something. It's the 20 boppers. The 20 boppers are the teenagers and the kids in their 20s. So, I'm in San Antonio. I'm talking to Marco. He's a trainer under Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia has a boxing academy in California, of course. I think in Vegas, right? Is it Vegas or Cali, one of them? But he has another one in San Antonio, a new one. So I'm there, right? And they're like, yeah, man, Tank is, he's the face about. I'm like, bro, like, I got so offended, but the way he broke it down, he's saying with a certain generation, the kids. And this is the problem, Jules. Check this out. I like to call them the old crusties. The old crusty dudes. They are trying to pull. They sold out, bro. They sold out. Belts don't matter. So TikTok, social media followers. My fighter is popping. This and that. And the old guys, the Calvin Fords, the Bernard Hopkins, the Oscar De La Hoyas, the Floyd Mayweathers, they sold out. They sold out, dog. Because, Jules, I'm telling you, bro, that's what's going on. And they're trying to push this. Go ahead.
No. I agree. But I said that the other day that this is one of those instances where boxing is selling its soul again, which happens more often than people realize. Like Oscar De La Hoya, when you say, it's different when you say it because you were a great fighter because you're not just Joe Blow that watches boxing. You was a great fighter. And when you sit there and say that, oh, Tank is the number one lightweight, based on what?
Oh,
That's
Jules,
crazy.
Jules, this is the crazy part about it, Jules. I say this all the time on the show. I say, bruh, I played Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I know you're a boxing pugilist, you know. I played James Lights Out Tony. Just the interviews they had, right? Imagine this. If Hagler was alive today, boxing in this era, or if James Tony was boxing in this era, they would be considered clout chasers. They would be considered, oh man, he just wanna, he calling Tank name out. He calling out the top guys. Why he calling them out? He just clout chasing. No, idiot. That's what you're supposed to do. When you're a top fighter, the only way we're gonna know who's the top guy, they have to prove it. You have to fight each other. That's the only way to settle all disputes. Give me an example of any comeback sport, Jules, where you can be declared number one without fighting the other top guys in your division.
I think before I pass it to Mirage, I want to say that I feel that that's a testament to this generation and how warped and weak their mentality is. Like, bro, really, I'm not knocking Tank by saying you not number one. You could be what the fuck you are, and people could like you and all of that. But no, you're not number one at lightweight. You got 4 fights at lightweight. Isaac Cruz, a nobody. Yuriorkis Gamboa, a journeyman. Rolly Romero, a retard. And a super featherweight in Hector Garcia. How does any of that make you the number one lightweight in the world? And when the Oscar De La Hoya, of all people, says, yeah, yo, he the number one lightweight, you only saying that bullshit to sell a fight. I know that. But it's different coming from you. You selling your soul when you say that. What say you, Mirage?
Okay, to me, the real face of boxing doesn't need to say he's the face of boxing.
You're right.
That should be self-evident. Historically, we've seen that. We didn't see Oscar De La Hoya boasting about I'm the face of boxing. No, he just is. But when you're trying to hijack it, when you don't deserve it, then you'll keep saying it, trying to convince everybody of this bullshit that you're the face of boxing. So this is a charade. And I don't know who this dude earlier mentioned, like, technically, if you're the best of a bad bunch, you might be the face, but the standards are fucking dog shit these days. So even if he is the best of a bad bunch, he's not really the face of boxing. Face of boxing, you're fucking mainstream. You're on the talk shows. Everybody knows who you are. He hasn't earned that. As you said, doesn't even have fucking titles. So this is a charade. This is about trying to cash in, and it's all bullshit. And the real boxing fans see through this. We see through this bullshit.
And more importantly, the people that spend money, more to the point, because these kids don't see that. You know why? And I'm going to say this. It's because this generation is a generation of weaklings and bitches, to be real with you. Like when we was young, and we selling whatever we selling or whatever, it's to get money. We understood you need money. These kids is bums and drug addicts. They're not like when we were, like we did bad things when we were a kid. I'm sure all of y'all did bad things when y'all was kids, because I know I did. But it was you trying to get us some money. You gonna flip some shit, get some money. Do some shit, get some money. And these kids is different. You only get money to feed your addictions. The difference between your generation and ours is we were the drug dealers. You young guys appear just to be the drug users. That's what I see. They're like, all y'all is a bunch of fentanyl, crackheads, Xanny, whatever fucking shit is circulating. Y'all little motherfuckers is on that shit. And that's why y'all ain't got no brain. So when I see that your marketing strategy is centered around appealing to that demographic, what I ask myself is, do they even have the disposable income to buy this fight? Do they? Because near as I can tell, the crowd that spends money on boxing are the guys between ages, let's say, late 20s to mid 40s and 50s. You know, the guys that actually have disposable income to spend on boxing. And I'm not sure that it's the drug addicts at age 22 and 23 that are going to shell out $80 to buy this pay-per-view. I don't want to knock them, and I don't want to jinx them. I'm just saying that if your thing is, well, we're going to try to appeal to a younger audience, bro, that younger audience is going to go to Reddit. They're going to click link.
You know what?
Free.
They're smart enough to know how to steal it, man. Still,
one thing,
even on drugs.
One thing I'll say too that I've noticed about the younger generation is that no matter what somebody does now, if they do something mediocre or above mediocre, then they're like the appointed GOAT or the greatest of all time. I mean, look how many like times somebody will put out a record, like one of these new age rappers, and they're like, oh, he's better than Tupac now. I mean, the thing is, it's so easy. Can they sit here and say like something happens? He sold 325,000 pay-per-views. He did well in Atlanta. He did well in, Chicago or Washington, D.C. This guy's, greater than Sugar Ray Leonard. Like, what crack are you smoking to actually believe that it's anywhere on the same level? The bar is so low.
I don't know. I think Oscar's right.
No. It's like what they say about LeBron. LeBron, you out here building a whole team, my guy. That's not the same shit that Jordan did, bro. Yeah, you know what I mean, like it was different then, and that kind of speaks to this. That it's like, yo, dog, y'all just trying mad hard because you don't have a legend. Why don't you have a legend though? Like, why are you kind of missing that with your young fighters? Because a lot of them is ass. Being real, yeah, a lot of them is ass. It's going to take some guy from Dagestan or some shit that don't give a fuck about nothing to whoop everybody ass and remind you, this the hurt business, right? This ain't the Instagram business. This is not the Twitter business.
But it is, though. They turn, like, I actually think he's right because the boxing scene in America is so bad. Like, it really is rather an indictment on the boxing scene of America that Gervonta or that Ryan could be the face of boxing here because that whole group of establishment boxing promoters caused this. Like, you have to blame Showtime and Golden Boy and Bob. They're all at fault for this. They don't promote the real guys.
Real quick, did you guys also see now Ryan sitting there talking about, I should have said no to the contract? What should have? I mean, yeah, but
if he had, I wouldn't have blamed him because this is not fighting. This is not fighting. What that negotiations and what that set of negotiations was Al Heyman's perverted version of sport. It's a perverse version of sport. Let's be real. When you good at some shit, you want to compete with other people. I don't care if it's drawing, rapping, making beats, whatever you do, when you good at it and you love it and all of that, and you really for real, it's not production. It's not smoke and mirrors. You are who you say you are. You know what you do? You do shit like my man Tim Tszyu. I don't give a fuck. Motherfucker can hate me. That motherfucker didn't have to come to America. He did not have to do that.
He's an international fighter, though. Like, who started this boxing as a business shit? That shit started in America.
Hey,
I'm just saying that when you go ahead, country. What?
JBN's asking you to shoot the link. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Hey, Jules, this is the thing that get me right. I agree with you. I'm disappointed. I'm more disappointed and hurt than anything. Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Hopkins, bruh, like you guys as promoters are the worst. What you're preaching today is the total opposite of what you did when you were fighters. You know that when you were fighters, you wanted all the smoke. You had to fight all of the top guys in order to prove that you were the best. Now that you are promoters, you are preaching the total opposite.
Money talks. That's why. That's what
But that shit started in America. That's what I'm saying. We reap what we've sown. Like that's what boxing in America became. So if this fight does have that like commercial breakthrough, whether it's 700,000 and not 1 million, either way, it'll be a success relative to American boxing.
But let me say this. See, before I pass it, let me say this. See, I agree with everything you guys are saying that the promoters are responsible, but the state of boxing in America has actually suffered for it. It hasn't gotten better. If boxing were the way it were before, where we're not trying to sell you an image, we're not trying to sell you a lifestyle. We sell fights. That's what we sell. And back when you were selling fights, this is a great fighter, this is a great fighter, and you did it that way, why was boxing bigger? It was literally bigger when you did it that way. It's not bigger now that you doing this bullshit. Like, no, it's literally smaller than it was before.
And
Jules,
which promoter by and large follows
can-
that format still? It's a guy from Great Britain. It's not an American, and it's not an American.
I can tell you why it's that way now, though, because back then, these promoters, when they were fighters, actually fought everybody. And you know, I mean, that's the difference. They actually fought everybody and took the smoke and took on the fights, win, lose, or draw. These dudes today ain't doing that.
But everyone is speculating. Once Golden Boy and Showtime get a prospect, they speculate on him and they hope that, okay, this is going to be the next Floyd or the next Oscar. And that's how we got here.
Yeah, to be honest, because that's what they did with Errol Spence Jr. when they put him in Ring Magazine in 2016, 2017. And I often bring this up that they said it themselves in the article. He doesn't have the resume or the body of work to be ranked as a pound-for-pound fighter, but because we believe, well, my God, fuck belief. Let him go out there and earn it, bro. Yeah. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but that's why I believe, like, yeah, I agree with them, but like in a bad way. Like, yeah, that's a Wendy Williams ass face of boxing. It's a terrible look for the sport.
Jules, this is the thing that pissed me off on top of that. You try to tell me, I ain't the smartest guy in the world, I ain't got but a GED, but I have a master's degree in common sense. You try to tell me that, yeah, you know what? And this is no hate. I promise you this is no hate. Tank Boy, you know, well, he hit like Tyson. He like Mike Tyson. Sir, don't tell me that we are in a different era today. The old days is over with. This is a different era in one breath. But yet you want to use old school talking points compared to today's fighter that you say is different. You want to compare them to the old school guys and say, yeah, he like Tyson. No. He's going to have to do what Mike Tyson did. He's going to have to do what Marvin Hagler did. He's going to have to do what James Lights Out Tony did. You're telling me he don't have to do that. He's already there, while at the same time comparing him to Tyson, to Hagler.
That's what they tell you that. They tell you remember The Wire when the dude said, well, the thing about the old days is those was the old days. Yeah, I dig it. Then stop bringing them up. This kid ain't Mike Tyson. You ain't the face of boxing. You not, like, really in this era, bro, you don't make what Tyson Fury makes. You don't. Like, that's not cap. You don't make what he makes. You don't make what Joshua makes. You don't make what Canelo makes. So if you're not the face of boxing in terms of sales, what makes you the face of boxing? That a bunch of idiots on Twitter want to argue on your behalf? Is that all it takes?
Well, you know what? A great example is when Tyson was encouraging the Charlos to call out people's names, and they refused. Nobody back in those days, in Tyson's and before, ever would have not did that. They would have straight up called out who they wanted. Why did Jamal and like he wouldn't even call Benavidez' name? I was like, what the?
I'm going to say, thank God. It's going to sound funny, but thank God for the other markets outside of America where the fighters want to get it on. I'm going to use a female fighter, for example, Ebony Bridges. She want to fight people. How I know? You don't move from Australia to the UK because you're not taking your job serious, fam. You literally uprooting your whole life to a whole different region of the world where it's cold and people got to wear dark clothing all the time. The food don't taste good. You're not going to do that if you're not for real. And when she got over there, was she fighting bitches all day? You know what I mean? Mommy and Tim Zoo, same shit. Then you look at other fighters, all them kids in Mexico, that they're the unsung heroes. They're the backbone of boxing. Why? Laura goes through a fucking Matchroom show in a fucking bubble. Probably didn't get paid a lot of money, but he made the most of the situation. And that is why he is a world champion here today. You know what I mean? That's the mentality. Whereas the American boxing scene is trying to sell you anything other than boxing.
Bro, it's garbage.
Hey,
as far as established names, you only have Terrence and Shakur. Those are the only real established guys in America right now.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So with the PBC, and you mentioned Tank the face, the new face of boxing. Here's the thing, man, and let's not kid ourselves. Motherfucking LRB is the main pusher of this bullshit on social media, right? Mm-hmm. And check it out. I give him credit, and he's a dumbass. And here's how it works. I give him credit because he understands how social media works nowadays, where something can be completely false, but if you push the narrative hard enough, you're going to get a backing and people going to believe it. So that's where I give him credit for trying that route. And the second one, you're a fucking dumbass, bro, because there's too many pure boxing fans who ain't going for it.
Oh yeah, I mean the other angle of it is, while Julio maintains the point that these promoters are responsible for the state of the sport in America, I look at it as a detriment. So it's like, you shouldn't be doing that shit because it's not working. If Tank and Ryan, for example, they go out there, let's just say, okay, you sell between 700,000 and 1 million pay-per-views. Awesome. You did that with that fight. You're not going to keep doing that moving forward. You're not. The only way you keep doing that moving forward is if you make the winner fight Devin, or if you make the winner fight Shakur, or if you make the winner fight Lopez. You know, the best versus the best. This is the only sport that tries to get away from that formula. Every other sport is literally the best versus the best. The best in the NBA, the best in the MLB, the best in the NFL, the best in the NHL, the best in rugby, the best in every fucking other sport you can think of. It's always the best versus the best, because that's why we watch. Boxing is the only one that tries to skip that. Oh, no, we don't have to fight them. We the best already. Oh, based on what?
Yeah, you just make
but that involves risks, though. And the only people who are really going to pay for that, who are guaranteed to pay for that, are real boxing fans, like purists. And they hate us. They treat us like shit.
Yeah, they don't like us because we the ones that get mad. Like, bro, look, Ryan and Javante is a good little fight. Am I going to buy it? Yes, but miss me with the face of boxing and the best versus the best, because Ryan is not the best lightweight, okay? And he's not the best super lightweight either. Javante, he ain't the best one either. This is a run-of-the-mill whatever fight. This is you versus a contender, if it's anything, and that's normal. The only reason the fight has a profile is because this kid has millions of Instagram followers. That's it. That's it. If he had 250,000 Instagram followers, would it be a big fight?
Again, that goes back to my opinion when I said, when people hype up, like somebody puts out an album. So like Juice WRLD was popular for like 2 or 3 years, and the guy sadly passes away. But then it's like, oh, he's part of like one of the greatest. He's up there with with Biggie, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
I ain't never heard that. I don't know who said that. I never heard that.
Dude, you haven't been on the internet then, because lots of people.
Yeah, I don't know who you fuck with on the internet, bro. I'm on the internet all the time. I ain't never heard that.
Bro. No.
So it's not. Hold on. You're telling
me.
No,
I believe you. I believe you. I'm just saying, like, damn, that's crazy.
Look, motherfuckers will sit there. I'm gonna be real, and that's how I know I'm getting old, and I need to leave. So I leave certain arguments alone. When I seen a motherfucker say that Lil Wayne is the greatest rapper alive, bro, my blood pressure went up. I started sweating. You know, my knuckles turned white. I was like, Lil Wayne?
I heard that in the early 2000s and was laughing.
I'm like, bro, and the bar is so low for hip hop right now. I'm like, bro, look, it's a lost cause. That the genre's dead. Like, it's a lost cause. Forget it. It used to be good. This shit they putting out now is hot garbage. I'm gonna say the girls got better bars than the guys now, if I'm gonna be real.
Well, that's what I'm saying about boxing. That's my comparison to boxing, is that the bar has been set so low now that a guy who's selling 250,000 with no belt is now, we're talking about him being the face of boxing in America. That is how low the bar is.
One thing I wanted to add to what you were saying about, you know, it's not just the promoters and all them or whatever that don't like us, but the casuals don't like us either, because we light them up with the truth. So it's like most everybody doesn't like us because we're actual real fans and hardcore.
You know, the worst part is that they swear if we say anything, this is the way they're built. This is the way they're bred. No matter what we say, they swear we're taking a stance on siding with a fighter. They can't see how we're being objective. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
No. I'm going to say that they so soft in the ass. They so soft in the ass that they think telling me that I'm hating me, like, that shit don't mean nothing to me. Like, in your generation, telling somebody, oh, you hating, I don't know. Maybe that shit means something to guys between the age of 20 and 25, but I'm 40. That shit don't mean, I might be hating. So, what if I am?
Jules, this why I kill him. I say, bro, what is your boxing criteria? Do you have a boxing criteria? And it killed them dead. So it killed them dead. They don't have a boxing criteria. Like, what is your criteria for determining this guy's the best outside of you say so or Calvin Ford or that guy say so?
Just say yes, bro. Like, you hating, bro. You damn right I am.
No, they just follow a narrative and pick a favorite. It's tribalism with these kids, man.
Yeah. Motherfucker told me you hate Tyson Fury. Yes. Do something.
Well, they get that because of American boxing media. Like, it still goes back to the infrastructure in the United States. Like, some dullard who I just gave a super chat to tells me who I'm supposed to like. That's why they parrot that shit.
That's true. That is true. And that goes back to the conversation. That goes back to the conversation we had about 3 lives ago, where I talked about how a big part of the reason that the fanboys and the journalists are indistinguishable from each other is because the journalists delineated the line that separated them. You start writing shit. There was an article that was written by New York Fights by Marquise Johns, and he said that these 2 guys are the 2 biggest draws in boxing. Brody, that's an outright lie. That's literally a lie. But when you write that and these bozos read it, if they do read it, or they'll screenshot that one part and cherry pick it. Yeah, these 2 guys are the biggest draws in boxing. Bro, they don't make what AJ makes. They don't make what Fury makes, AJ makes, Canelo makes. So explain it to me. In what way are they the biggest draws in boxing?
Are you sure the fanboys didn't become journalists?
They barely make what Derek Chisora makes.
Well, they filled that vacuum because the real journalists weren't doing shit. They were doing the same shit, sucking dick.
Something about the business changed to where the real journalists that ask the real questions, they get ostracized. They get alienated. So when they can't get access, the dichotomy becomes, oh, well, I better lick some ass if I want to get some access. And that's what it becomes. You see a bunch of Ali Sekbacks running around.
Pretty much. Like, you know what it is, it's gone twofold right now, because not only are they ducking more, they can't get away with it. Receipts are everywhere, right? Okay, because back in the day, you know, like Leonard with the Donnie Lalonde situation, like fighting him for 2 titles at one weight. All right, that would have hit him bad. But the thing is, he was a legend by that time. He was a legend. Fought Tommy, fought Hagler, you know, fought Benitez. And, you know, you can find discrepancies on all their resumes. A few, but the legacy defining fights were all taken. That's the thing. These days, they ain't doing that. They get no legacy defining fights, and then they're getting exposed because all the eyes are on them, and all the media outlets are just blowing up. Yeah, you know, Boots avoided the smoke. We wouldn't have known about that back in the day.
This is the other thing, though. Just like you said, Leonard is a perfect example, and I use Leonard because he's highly revered and highly admired by many different boxing circles. But Leonard had his bullshit. He did. Like, yeah, you had your bullshit. You know, you knew what you did to Duran in the second fight. You knew why you did it the way you did it. You knew why you came back and fought Hagler when you fought Hagler. And you know what you did to Donnie Lalonde, which is why I don't lose my mind over certain stuff, because I'm like, nobody in boxing is perfect. Sugar Ray Robinson, the poster child for the pound for pound. He never fought Charlie Burley. Nobody's perfect, right?
Archie Moore either.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. But they still earned a lot. And that's why you give him because it's like, yo, but look at everything he did, my guy. You can't discount everything he did because of one thing that he didn't do. Now, you got a guy like Ryan, yo, you didn't do shit.
Relative to now, the one thing they don't do could be career defining.
This dude was ready to make a movie because he beat Luke Campbell. That's crazy.
Yeah, you know when Jordan won his first NBA chip? That
the Ryan Garcia story.
Like,
how you ready to make a movie because you beat Luke Campbell, bro?
Yeah, I don't get it. And it's like, and it's just like you said, these reporters, they just be sucking dick, bro. Like, what they have and what they promote to share is this fucking used car smells like syndrome. Like goddamn.
Yeah. In regards to reporters, it's not just in sports. If you follow politics, political reporters, the same thing. They're more interested in being friends and smoozing with the politicians, because they need to get access. So they're desperate and they lower their standards, and they don't do their job. Their job is to hold these motherfuckers to account.
Yes.
And this is everywhere. This is just the way. This is a broader cultural thing.
You're right. These reporters and journalists, they will sit there and let these narratives flow.
Now, let me tell you why. It's because our morality as a species is going down every generation. That's why.
100%.
When you used to say something before, it used to have to matter. Like, that's not cap. I have been in a world where the internet was not what it is today. That's how I know. Beats was in that world. Country was in that world. It was a world where when you said some shit, it had to mean something. And when you and there was integrity. And what I see in this society that speaks to what Mirage is talking about, the journalists don't want to do their job. They just want to get money. They don't want to do their job. Like, you know that your job is to hold them accountable. That's a part of your job. Journalistic integrity. There's none of that anymore.
But we now live in a world that rewards that. Back in the day, yeah. If we go back in the day, all right, if you was a hardcore boxing fan, you had to pick up magazines.
Yeah.
To get your information.
I did all the time.
Right. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish it, right?
Oh, go ahead, man.
And here's the thing, right? Boots Ennis and Ortiz, them swerving Crawford, it may have got a couple of sentences in a magazine, but it wouldn't be a headline. They would have got away with it. A lot of people are doing stuff they would have got away with. But now, you cannot get away with it now. You know what I mean? You're going to get blown up. Someone's going to blow you up. And these fights walk straight into it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
They tell on themselves. They tell on themselves because we would have never known none of that if Bozy hadn't said it. If Bozy hadn't said that on the Stamina for Sale podcast, we would have never known that Black Prime reached out to you to do that fight. We would have never known. And if the YSM media guy, if he wouldn't have asked Stephan outright about it, we would have never known. They tell on themselves.
Well, let's keep it a buck though. That YSM media guy and like 5 other channels are now doing nothing but running defense for Jaron Ennis in that situation.
Oh, I know
let's
that.
Keep it a buck. They're like fucking Russia Today, bro, of that Ennis shit.
Oh, I know because, and that's the other thing, that this is a generation. What I notice about them, which you brought up earlier, that they tend to celebrate a lot of ordinary things, like what do you want, a cookie because you wiped your own ass? And it's kind of like that you're so desperate for heroes, you're so desperate for idols, you celebrating a lot of stupid ass shit, bro. Why are you so high on this guy? Because he's from your fucking city? Is that it?
It's like when
ordinary is abnormal
in the era where you had to pick up magazines, you couldn't be an interim champion strutting around that you're the real deal when a man has 4 straps in the weight class. Just couldn't be. You couldn't get away with it.
And people wouldn't let you. People wouldn't let you.
There's no magazine publication out there who would let you get away with that. But now, they've got their YouTube channels, their media outlets, and they're pretty successful. They've got enough people hitting them up.
Beats, you took it back to what I said. How does it reach a point to where the fan has a bigger following than the journalist that actually reports the news? The journalist at some point delineated the line that separates them, and suddenly how he behaves is how he behaves.
I'll tell you how this happens, right? The fan is telling a certain demographic what they want to hear, and they're flocking in numbers and backing it up. It's like, look, you can do the most nefarious bullshit out there that you should feel ashamed of doing it. But if you've got 1 million people backing you up and they're doing all the same thing, they normalize it, right? That's what's happening. That is what's happening.
Like the blue face guy, the blue face guy with, what's her name? Chisora, the girl? Chizoria, right? It's like, I look at this guy and I'm like, fam, how is he famous? What you famous for? I don't what do you do? Who are you? And it's other bums like you facilitating you and making you famous. But for what though? I want to say Paris Hilton, the one that started that dumb shit. Because, bitch, you was famous for sucking some dick, and you ain't even look like you was sucking the dick right. That she started that whole reality.
You're right, Jules. You're right.
All you did was get fucked. You got famous for being fucked? Really? That's it. And then
being the heir of a millionaire, the Hilton fortune. That's it.
Julius, can I say something?
Speaking of
Leo.
Speaking of shit media and shit. Oh, go ahead, Julio. You good? Go ahead. I'll wait.
Okay. Let's take, for example, there is a difference between the TV cable industry and the movie industry. For example, I don't know how much money they did with the Game of Thrones shit because I don't know how much money they invest doing that show. Apparently, it was a crazy amount of money, and the way they get the money is not the same with Hollywood and the movie industry because they get they basically buying views. I give you this money to do this show, and I want views. I want a bunch of views, but I don't know how that translates to money, really. But I do know how in the movie industry, how that translates to money because let's say a producer gets $10 million to make a movie, and you make $30 million. Yeah, that's a success. But okay, you are not gonna tell me that's a big success, first of all. And even if you make $100 million, for example, no, you're not gonna tell me a fucking Adam Sandler movie is better than Godfather. Even the Adam Sandler movie made hundreds of millions of dollars. You cannot tell me that. So in the case of Gervonta Davis, okay, that's a show. That's only a show. That's a former champion.
Globetrotters of boxing.
Yeah, that's a former champion fighting a contender. You are not going to tell me that's a quality product that translates to be the result of that match being the best fighter in the world. The same way you cannot tell me the Fast and Furious series is better than The Godfather. You cannot tell me that.
Let's list some things that wouldn't have flown in the magazine era. Glovegate, right? Wouldn't have flown, right?
No.
These things wouldn't have flown. What else wouldn't have flown? Errol Spence ducking Crawford wouldn't have flown. You wouldn't have been able to flip it back on Terrence. Not after all the receipts you left about go get a belt, come across this side of the street. Wouldn't have happened, right? All the in-house fights that have been happening. And Bob Arum did start it, but Al took it to another level. Wouldn't have flown back in the day. Wouldn't have got away with it.
But I'm going to say, you know why? That's because the people was different people. That's why I always reference the pre-internet era versus the post one. What the internet created was an overload of information to where there's just as much misinformation out there as real information. So people get to believe whatever they want to believe. It could be real, it could be fake, but there's an overload of information. There are too many perspectives. Before, there was a consensus and an authority that, listen, motherfucker, you could say whatever the fuck, and this is why I didn't argue about the shit when I was young. I don't argue about it now. Bo, you ducked Lewis. I don't want to hear it, bro.
Yeah,
you took the belt and dumped it in the trash. In my generation, that's a duck, my guy. I ain't going to sit here explaining it for you because he's from the UK and you from here. You could be from here. That's still a duck.
You know what's funny?
That reminds you of the blowback that Duran got when he fought Leonard and then the infamous no moss in the middle.
Yeah,
he got some bad blowback for that, man. I mean,
yeah, he did. Like, who was it? Teddy Brenner had to beg Bob Arum to bring him back on Top Rank after a little time. His name was Mud. His name was Mud after that. You know what I mean?
And it was the standards. The standards before for a lot of things was just more stringent because I believe that the people were more upright. In a nutshell, that's the only way I could explain it. That it's like your word had to mean something. When you said something, it had to mean something. Whereas now you got guys quitting all the time, man. Zach Parker hurt his hand and quit. And went home like it wasn't nothing, man.
That and a lot of us that were growing up, like you, me, Beats, and a number of guys, and probably Mirage and a lot of the older panel members, we didn't have the internet growing up, until we hit a certain age, and then all of a sudden it popped on the scene. But we were in that era when you didn't have it.
Let me read the super chat. Will Boxer said Oscar should push Virgil as the next guy, not Ryan. Yeah, he should, but Virgil ain't the one with 40 million Instagram TikToker followers or whatever. Will said Back in the day, that was called constructive criticism. People don't want to evolve. They just want to stay stagnant because it's comfortable. Yeah, safe money like Joshua Buatsi. Beats, I seen your video. You know, I agree with everything you said. Like, he's a disappointment to me, bro.
Yeah.
It ain't no other way to put it. Like, bro.
Here's the weirdest thing, right? How are you going to get £1 million and a title shot and expect to be able to walk away from the situation if you win the belt? And not, like, you're not obligated to give the man another year or two. Who's going to get... No one does.
Nobody's going to give you a... Yo, matter of fact, the only one that would is Eddie Hearn. Remember when he offered Charlo the one-off deal and Garcia and Javante the one-off deal? But that's it. Nobody else is going to give you a deal with, like, yeah, we're going to give you over £1 million. We're going to get you a title shot. No, bro, anywhere you go, it would have been like that. What it really is you don't want to fight that guy. And I was going to give him a pass because I'm like, look, I've been saying he's not ready for Bivol, but what you can do for me is fight Callum. Fight Callum. You're not ready. It's cool. You're not ready for Bivol. I believe you're not ready for Bivol, but you should at least feel comfortable enough to fight Callum. You don't feel comfortable enough to fight nobody. Not Anthony, not Callum, not Bivol, not nobody. That's crazy.
Frank sold him out. We offered them the fight. Frank sold him out. We offered them the Anthony Yard fight. I was horrified when I heard that one. I said, oh, no.
Bruh. And I'm like, you remember, because you did videos about it and so did I. People used to think that Joshua Buatsi was going to be the guy and Yard was the pretender. And what Yard showed is, look, man, y'all could put me in Chelyabinsk, Russia. Y'all could put me in here with the Kovalevs and Beterbievs, but I'm going to go and I'm going to fight. This dude don't even want to know. He don't even want to know.
And he's trying to pretend like he's A-side. Oh, come to Sky. Nah, man. You got to go to him.
Hey, what he doesn't know, man, is I hear DAZN is purchasing a Sky channel soon. You know what I mean?
How rare is it getting now that whenever we see guys that are actually going for greatness or trying to do things outside of the box or uncomfortable, how rare are we now talking about those guys? Like, we're actually championing it. That used to just be it. We expected these guys to go through fire to, like, get the belts. Now it's like, if they're actually doing it, it's the exception, not the rule anymore.
Right.
Because the boxing infrastructure doesn't reward those people. It doesn't reward people like Regis or Shakur or Terrence or any of those type of people.
No, it's totally different now. And I say this all the time. I say, bruh, we're living in an era where the guys who do the least get the most praise.
That is so
and
true.
The guys that do the most get the most criticism.
Yeah.
Oh, he ain't did nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, so what, he got a belt. Oh, so what, he got... Like,
I mean, look at Andre, bro. And I'm not trying to be fucked up or nothing, but it's just like, my God, this dude is 34, a former Olympian, right? And literally every career decision you made was to get away from big fights. You didn't want to fight Korobov. You didn't want to fight Charlo. You didn't want to fight Derevianchenko. You didn't want to fight fucking Yanni Beck. You didn't want to fight Zach. Like, bro, then I don't know why you doing what you're doing then, because you just don't
scary, man.
Bro, and then people are criticizing John Ryder, who did it the old way by fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all he did was fight. And none of these middleweights who are having his name in his mouth, none of them will fucking fight him voluntarily. And that's
Ryder earned his
it's not just about praise. Like, they're getting overpaid for doing nothing. I mean, Jamal Charlo hasn't fought in 2 years.
Exactly.
Okay, he's obviously not hard up for a dollar. If he was like desperate for money, trust me, he'd be fighting more often. So he's getting overpaid for doing fuck all, and they don't need to fight. They don't care. They just, they'll just count their dollars.
And the Alphabet organization enables him, because I didn't forget that late last year at the convention in Cancun, Adames went down there to petition the WBC to order the fight, and they literally told him no.
And they won't strip him. They won't strip him. That's the worst part, is they won't strip him.
Calling John Ryder a tune-up, man. How are you going to call him a tune-up, right? The people that they've been pushing forward, Charlo and Demetrius, right? Charlo ducked Jacob. I see John Ryder beat Jake. I didn't think he won it, but he stepped up and he got the W. It's on his record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Andrade avoided the Zach Park. He lost two straps. The opportunity. He's got
Bro,
no
don't
straps.
start defending John Ryder, bro.
Right?
Come on. Don't
No.
get
I'm
too
going.
carried away.
Let me
We're
put
gonna
it.
start getting some smoke now.
No.
Okay, if you're gonna start doing that.
Let me put it to you another way. And Steve Kim told me the story about how Evander Holyfield got Mike Tyson in the ring. You know what I mean? He got him in a ring off a gamble, basically, because they was at a stalemate with the first set of negotiations. You know, you want certain money to be there right now, nah. And then after hours and hours, I think he said it was like 48 hours of negotiating. It was a wild number of negotiating, a wild number of hours they spent on it. And then he said, you know, Evander's guy, he took him outside. He like, yo, look, dog, do you feel you can beat this guy? And Evander told him, yeah, I think I could beat this guy. Like, look, we gonna make the money in the rematch then. Take what they offering, and we'll get it back in the rematch. That's what John did that Demetrius didn't want to do. John did not get paid no crazy amount of money to go in there with Zach Parker. He didn't. He didn't get no motherfucking fortune to go in there with no Zach Parker. Andre, they offered you over $1 million to fight this motherfucker. I don't believe you was injured. I don't care what Eson say. That's your cousin. I don't care what he say. I don't believe you was injured.
And he gambled as well because he let him go on enemy territory, right? On Frank Warren's show. And he bet, like you say, Eddie probably gave John a little something because like he didn't get paid nothing. He didn't get paid nothing.
He didn't get paid. He didn't get paid no crazy amount of money. What he did was, look, I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna fight this guy because if I fight this guy, I might get Canelo. Guess what?
And real quick, just to add to that point, John Ryder is a guy who got robbed twice in his career being the away fighter against Callum Smith and against Rocky Fielding. Tell me why you can go look up that fight with Rocky Fielding and John Ryder on the internet, and you will not be able to fucking find it because everyone knows what happened in that fight. But secondly, someone brought up Charlo's inactivity, bro. This goes back to what American boxing has become. This motherfucker Al Haymon was paying people money not to take fights.
Let me tell you,
bro.
Peter Quillian millions.
Let me bring this up. Michael Hunter. In 2020, they offered you an IBF eliminator against Felipe Hergovic, who had fought no one. And what you do, instead of fighting in that eliminator so you could get an Anthony Joshua and become his mandatory, what do? You go to Triller and you fight Mike motherfucking Wilson and look like doodle with Jerry Forrest. It's that set, like, yo, bro, like, what do you want them to pay you to do, bro? You acting like they just supposed to give you buku dollars. You here to do a job, bro.
Right.
Who Mike is doing all this crazy shit?
Not me, man. But yeah, I just want to bring it back to like Tank and Ryan. Like when I think of those two men, I just have two words, and it's just unearned hyped.
Well, it's tribalism, is what it is. It's that motherfuckers get defensive when they see you criticizing that guy, and they think you criticizing that guy for anything other than his boxing. It's an irrational state that content creators capitalize off of. Never mind that I big up Shakur every chance I get. Never mind that I big up Devin Haney every chance I get, or Crawford, or that my favorite fighters historically is from the same tribe you claim I hate. If I say something about Lil Charlo and his peroxide Simon Phoenix wannabe ass, you gonna think it's about something that it's not. When all I'm talking about is boxing, my guy. I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Bro, but that's the business model, though. It's to hype up the people who don't do shit and be skeptical of the people who do. Be skeptical of Shakur and Terrence and AJ. That's their business model.
Bringing up race is their attempt to scare you out of your opinion. I better not say nothing because they're gonna say I'm racist. No, all I'm gonna say is he's garbage.
Yeah, you gotta be like me, man.
With the ID politics, man.
You gotta be like me, man. I don't care, man. I'm standing on my square. I don't care.
No. That's why the boxing god sent us Coach Malachi to preach the scrolls in America that I cannot preach.
Malachi Williams.
Hey,
that's Reverend Malachi, motherfucker.
Bro, listen. Jamal Charlo has been a pro for 15 years. I don't know if you guys realize that because it probably doesn't seem like that. Jamel has been a pro for 16 years. Jamel turned pro a year before Jamal.
Wow.
Jamal Charlo has been a pro for, let that sink in. He's been a pro for 15 years. His claim to fame, he beat up a guy that was my height, 5'6", short, right? Demetrius, he beat, listen, this is how he became a champion. He beat Cornelius Bundrich. K9, 5'6", 154 pounder. Guess how old he was? He was 42 years old. That's how he got his first belt. Then he beat J-Rock. That was his. They talk about that to this day. He beat J-Rock. Then he beat Austin Trout. Then in the middleweight division, I said, okay, well, who has he fought in the middleweight division? Bruh, I can't. Highland. He beat some guy named Highland. He lost to Jay Korbov. Korbov got robbed. Got robbed.
Let me say this: this actually speaks to what Mirage mentioned earlier, that it's not exclusive to boxing. What these guys like to use are taboo subjects to bully you into not saying nothing. You know, like, oh, if you say something about Charlo, you must be AB. No, I'm talking about Charlo. I ain't talking about a whole army or I'm talking about him. Like, yeah, he sucks. He sucks. And Dimitri, yeah, he sucks. That don't mean Shakur sucks. That don't mean Devin sucks. That mean you suck. Yeah, you suck, bro. Your career is, you could retire, and I'll go boil an egg if you retire right now, like nothing happened, because you're not doing nothing, and you expecting something for nothing. You want cats to look at you, bro. I seen motherfucking Vanez drop you. Even worse, I seen Desmond Nicholson drop you. What would people be saying on Sunday morning if Gennady Golovkin got dropped by Desmond Nicholson? What would people say? But I'm supposed to act different with you. Like, no, it's
you
different.
know what really pissed me off about him is after Denzel went to this with Johnny Beck, he started talking mad trash about Johnny Beck. I said, yo, you didn't make him look like that. That was our boy from Buatsi. All right, who was said to have
that's the footboy shit that I don't fucking like, is that they live vicariously through other fighters that make these other fighters look bad, that are getting all this attention. And it's like, what about me? Like fuck you.
Well, the polarization is also another marketing tactic, and it's the same thing in politics. You can get someone who just comes on, says the dumbest inflammatory shit, no sources, nothing. But hey, what people are gonna take from it is, wow, he speaks from the heart. He's telling the truth.
Nah. Perfect example, Charlton White. You funny for saying shit that'll get a motherfucker shot. But when push came to shove, you canceled your shows in ATL because the cops didn't want to help you. That like this generation is and I know he's old.
Your generation.
He's my generation. But no. Let me finish though. He my generation, but in my generation, you wouldn't exist. There would be no room for you.
That's a fact. And his fan, you know what? To extend an olive branch, his fans are my generation. Because he buys it. People buy into the hype. Like. And people will see him say some stupid shit and be like, "Wow, that's wisdom."
This is the it sound good generation. A lot of shit he say sound good, but when push came to shove, which my generation wouldn't, you left money on the table because you was scared Jay Prince, who you've been talking shit about in your stupid little ass videos, was gonna get you. The cops didn't want to help you with none of that. You talking about, yeah, I call the police. Well, guess what? They not coming, bro. So it's just you and your guns. Is you down to use them? Because you it's cool. You on your little YouTube or your whatever. You showing your little automatic, but you're not about that though. And this generation is so weird that they'll still celebrate you knowing like, yo, you not that guy, bro.
Yeah, but Julius, I can see he has mental issues though. He has mental issues.
Maybe, and maybe
There's
Southpaw. Wait. Maybe Southpaw got mental issues. You know what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah,
this is what's going on.
Yes, both of them are addicted to the internet.
Yeah,
this is what's going on. Believe it or not, Beats. When me and you die, and our generation die, what's left is gonna be nothing but people that have mental issues. That's why it don't. That's why it don't click for us, bro. It don't click for us. The only thing that's going to be left are people whose minds are warped by the influx of media they receive on the internet. I'm telling you, it's not a theory. It's a fact. Their minds don't work like ours, bro. I'm telling you.
Why I'm saying that though, Julius, is I don't understand why anyone takes Charlton White serious. Like, why is he been taken so serious?
Because they have I'm telling you, you hear me, bro. The generation after us, these other kids out here, like if you got children, any of y'all young guys on here that have children or go on to have children, keep their ass off that internet. I'm telling you, it's making people crazy, bruh.
Look,
it is like
even the police don't like people who snitch as much as he's threatening to. It's a caricature, man. It's just something to get attention, man.
But that's the thing that this like what I notice about them is everything is now. What's the only other thing that I see that's around that is now? The internet. We were different. If I'm drawing a picture, or if we playing touch football, or if we outside hitting the ball with a bat, whatever the fuck we doing, all that shit take time. This generation don't take time on nothing. Everything got to be now. You want
instant gratification. They all need it.
It's ADD.
Well, we came up, Jules. We came up in the go outside and play era.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Go outside and play.
100%.
This the hermit era. Like. This the hermit era. Like you got young. Like look, I could be a hermit now because I'm a family guy. Of course I'm gonna be home. The fuck I'm gonna be doing running outside. But the young folk, they want to be home too. They don't want to be outside. They want to be in this make believe type of world.
Yeah,
and what I think
is make believe. You got virtual reality. You got wokeness. Like where I was growing up, you know what I mean. Like in a predominantly black community. You had to have your own business. You had to go self-employed. You wouldn't get no money. You'd come out of your community trying to get work. You couldn't get work. Couldn't get work, man. You have to make your own job. I mean, you got to learn a trade, a skill.
Yep.
And you had to do something. And what I see with these young guys, and what I see how this pertains to boxing, the digital world shapes their views more than the real one. The digital one shapes their views of the real world more than the real world because they're not in it.
Yeah.
So by the time they get out there, they brain is cooked, bro. They shit is a hot pocket. They shit is cooked.
There's a phrase for that, and it's like,
I was a kid, when I was young, we were out riding our bikes and going all over the place. When we got old enough, we were hopping on the bus and going places and doing stuff. You know. We were constantly out doing stuff all the time. And like you said, we actually got out in the real world. We weren't sitting at home, captivated with internet or video games.
Country, I bet you there's probably like MTV footage of like spring break right now, and it'll be nothing compared to 98. Like you can tell the difference. Like people, they having a good ass time back then, whereas now they're on their phone.
Now it's going to be a video of a bunch of people looking at their phones.
Like Freaknik. Who remember Freaknik?
Oh man, that's a long time ago. That's an Atlanta thing.
Bro, but like it's not like now. It's not like that no more. Like now, it's just like what I'm noticing. Which who's seen that show Black Mirror where they do all this tech?
Yeah, I seen Black Mirror.
A lot of that shit. The theme that they have basically is how tech. For those that are not familiar with the show, the baseline for everything is how technology affects things. And it's all different stories, but that's the baseline. And that's kind of what I see that like, the reason a lot of these kids go with a lot of this dumb shit is because the digital world to them is more real than the real world to them. Right. And to a degree, it's going to become what's going to happen generation by generation, because I already see it little by little. The digital world and the digital alter ego will become more important than who they really are in real life. That's where it's going. That's why you got bozos like Blueface and Charlton. Like y'all dudes is clowns, B. You could never be famous for nothing in the previous generation, because the truth, you not good at nothing. Exactly. Kim Kardashian, bitch, you wouldn't be able to be shit because you not good at nothing.
Yeah, just fucking Jules. Well, look at this. I mean, they're already making those like mask things that you wear, and you're looking in a virtual world, like you're walking around in a virtual world with that mask on, and it looks real.
You got TikTok filters, Instagram filters. You got alter egos. You got fake Twitter beefs. That is all geared towards an audience that they know is there, and I swear to God, it shapes their worldviews more than the world.
It's like Tank Davis. You know what I mean? I don't live in Baltimore. I don't live across there. But look, Tank ain't no gangster. I can see Tank ain't no gangster.
Oh, he had a purse.
I can see it. You ain't no gangster.
Beats. I said this the other day on Twitter. Yo, just because you poor don't mean you a shooter. Like, what you think? Everybody, if you just being poor or your mama being strung out on drugs made you a shooter, I guess everybody in Harlem a shooter then. I guess me, everybody, everybody. We all shooters just because we not rich. That's not how it works, bro. Just because you was poor in Baltimore don't make you a shooter. You a sports guy. You a sports ass guy.
Well, and he only ever gets pinched for beating hoes up. That's it. That's your only rap sheet.
Didn't I say that the other day? That why every time he get locked up is for some bum shit or some bullshit. It's always either you hitting a girl or you doing some sucker shit. You don't never get knocked for no shit.
I see people tack legit nothing. Where the fuck is
that dude? Ain't no that dude. Listen, the weird shit with these guys is they'll go get the gun and they'll because you got guns, you think you a shooter. You never been in a shootout, never shot nothing. You don't know how to shoot.
Don't go to a range. Don't practice.
No, in general, it's like I seen what's that man? I literally forgot his name, bro. He looked like a art man. He had his shit right, posted his shit. And he was at the race, and he unloading the whole magazine. And I'm looking at the paper like, yo, are you even hitting any of that shit? And because the paper not moving, I'm like, yo, y'all generation is just fake as fuck, bro. Like. You just showing yourself shooting a gun so people can see you shooting a gun. Bruh.
Lame.
Closing with like, bro.
It's all about performance.
Who you about to go murk, bro? Be real. Who you about to go murk, bro? You a killer. Come on now. And that's this generation. That's weirdos.
Exactly.
They're fucking weird. They do a lot of shit like, yo, motherfucker could look at you and know you. Come on, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I don't promote violence. I'm saying that you want to appear as that.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, it's performance.
Like Charlton White, you got all them automatic weapons in the closet, but you still the same guy that was scared to do a show in ATL because you was scared Jay Prince was gonna get at you after you brought that on yourself. The way he talked about this dude, bro, you'd have been dead yesterday. In the previous generation, you'd have been dead yesterday. You talked all that fly shit, all that hot shit, weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. So that when push come to shove and you got to go outside out of your bubble and do a show, you had to cancel it because the cops wasn't going to protect you. You can't make this sucker ass shit up. Like, so you
I have to make this question because I don't know really. You're a little bit older than me, so. In the previous generations, there was this tendency to these young people to snitch on themselves, showing guns and saying who are they gonna shoot.
It's not that it wasn't there. It was there. It was there.
It wasn't as prevalent because social media didn't exist. And if people actually showed any weapons or said anything, they usually acted upon it. There wasn't a lot of talking. It was actually follow through.
Yeah, like in other words, I feel that the internet enabled some of the behaviors that we have because of Villain's point that you didn't have nobody to show. There was people wasn't using the internet like that.
Back in the day, growing up, yeah.
But also, here's another thing. Right. If it's like there were little things, like, you know, for example, if I'm around my way, well, you're not gonna call me Julius. No, literally nobody calls me that. Now that I'm older, it's cool, but nobody that knows me calls me that. You're not gonna be shouting my government. For everybody, hey, right. Julie.
That's real shit. That's real shit.
But like you're not like anybody that know me, like you're not the last thing. Hey, hey Jamal, how are you? Hey Larry, you're like no, bro. Like it was little things like that. They're like no, no, bro. And two, if you was really doing things, no, you're not gonna advertise them, bro. If you gonna pop a guy, what you gonna do? You gonna jump on Instagram and tell everybody so the cops know where to find you? You must not be about to do that. I guess a lot of that shit is fake, bruh. Is all Charleston White, perfect. You got all them guns, and you're not gonna use not one of them. Not one single shell will be fired for all the shit you saying. Not one.
He ain't even got no one on his team or anything to back him up, man. It's all.
He was waiting for the cops to back him up.
Right. That's what
And
I'm saying.
the cops said, "Nah, we good. We good."
Nonsense.
This to me, the stuff that goes on these days is crazy. It's like, nah, son, just be regular, man. Just be regular. Be regular, bro. You don't gotta be a shooter. You know,
you're right about that though. Like you had to, like, you know, when you say some shit, you got to do that shit. You know,
it's the cliche, but it's like no.
In the era where, look, dog, when you say some shit, you got to do that shit. All that pump faking, the pump faking gonna get you killed. So
my God, listen, I tell this story all the time. It was this dude on this block I used to chill at. They fronted him some work. And when he didn't deliver on the deadline, his big old man, I was a little kid, big old man, yo, so-and-so is around here, yo. I'm like, nah, I don't know, B. That's his bike, but I don't know, B. Bang. The dude literally took the bike. Like, yo, you didn't get away with nothing. You didn't get away with shit. Like, nah, it's going to come back. These days, nah, man, you dudes, you ain't gonna do shit, man. You got all them guns. You'll shoot yourself before you shoot me.
Hey, I got a quick question for Mirage, real quick. Hey, Mirage, and the subject that we've been talking about, how did it differ in Australia compared to where we're here in America, what we're talking about with you growing up there?
Hey man, sorry, I've been away for the last 10 minutes, so I'm not exactly up to date with the conversation.
Oh. Okay. Well, in that case, never mind. Because you would have.
Australia's real, bro. Australia's real, though. I know.
We keep it real anyway. I'm not sure we're talking about. We keep it real.
Listen, I seen a video from Australia. Bunch of kids in the train station. Motherfucker kept pump faking, getting in front of this other kid that had a knife. He just kept going like that. And the second time he did that shit, right in the jugular. Bled out right there, died right on the video, bro.
Oh, was that was like falls like a sack of potatoes and there's like blood spurting from his
shit.
Yeah, that was like a few months ago. Yeah, you saw that shit, yeah? Wow.
That's
but that's like super rare. That's like that's some crazy wild shit. It's fucking sad.
But I'm good. No, it is sad. Like on God, it is real sad though. If whoever see that shit, like it's mad sad because it's like Brody. Them guys was literally walking away from this kid. He's a big kid, burly kid, looked like he could have been a linebacker. But it's like, yo, the first time he pump faked them, they leaving. They literally walking away from the guy. He did it that second time, yo. Old boy poked him real quick, right there, B. You see all that. It's like, yo, that didn't have to happen, my guy. Stop faking. That didn't have to happen.
Stop faking it, man. Stop faking it.
That didn't have to happen to that, and it's messed up. But it's like, yo, that seems to be the theme, just with this era of fake it till you make it. Like, you do that shit, man, you gonna end up in some shit, right? Because it is still shooters out here. You know what I mean? They still out here. These motherfuckers ain't got nothing to live for, waiting for somebody like you to come around. They ain't got nothing to live for. They ain't got nothing to look forward to. They ain't got no prospects on the horizon. Ain't nothing going on. They brain is full of drugs. They vein is full of drugs. Keep playing. Now, police says, should we consider Tony Yoka as the latest Olympic gold medalist turned professional, bust or too soon? No, see, Tony, shout out to Lennox, because Lennox said this shit years ago. I'm not talking weeks or months. I'm talking years. Shout out to Lennox.
Yeah, Lennox is about, Lennox. Yeah.
Lennox was the first one that told me, and I thought he was going, I thought, nah, he looked like he got some shit. Lennox said, bro, that dude is too fragile, bro. He is a knockout waiting to happen. He not gonna make it. He said that shit years ago, bro. And look at Tony now.
Yep. I mean, he lost
way before he took the L. Let us point it out. Way before.
He said that he seen him in the amateurs and he suspects, yo, that dude is a sus, bro. Like his chin is sus. He not gonna make it. Like, and for those that know amateur boxing, look, it's 3 rounds, bro. It ain't 12 of you getting hit. And it's 3 rounds, bro. He probably was a great amateur.
Savon starched him out, man. Savon starched him as an amateur.
That's what Lennox said, that he was getting knocked out in the amateurs. And
But right now, his legs look dead. Don't look sharp. He doesn't look fit. He doesn't look, you know.
I'm back. Yeah, my internet acting up. I don't know what's going on. That shit been happening for like 2 days or something. Like that's probably the alien mothership coming or something.
Yeah, because I was wondering because on my end.
Hold on, I missed that shit. I just came back and I heard alien mothership or something. You got to back that up, dog.
Yo, you ain't heard the shit that the U.S. government talking about an alien mothership may be sending probes to Earth, literally.
Oh, bro, hold on, whoa, hold on. Y'all surprised about that?
I'm not. No, bro. How you think I got here?
You feel me? Yo, hey, check it out. Hey, for everybody who ain't in the know, get your little Google or YouTube on the Black Satellite. Just look up the Black Satellite.
Oh, I seen the Black Knight. I've been knew about that. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it is.
Black Satellite. That motherfucker been watching us in orbit for thousands of years.
Yeah,
really? I'll be getting black helicopter.
Y'all want to hear some real weird shit? So one of Israel's former like Israel's like basically a security state funded by the United States. Essentially, it is a fake country. But their security chief, their space security chief, came out and said like, we've been contacted by Galactic Federation before, and they're just waiting for us to advance in order to really be able to like set up relations with them or some weird shit like that. You can look it up. His name is like General Haim Eshed. Haim, not our Haim, but the other Haim.
Not Haim from Manhattan.
No, not him.
No.
No, listen. This the shit. This how you know it's wait. This the shit. This how you know it's for real, bro. Check this shit, right? Would I go outside and go cavort with the motherfucking deer? Nah, right? Am I gonna go cavort with the ants? Nah, y'all not on my level. Fuck, I'm gonna do that for. So if you thought about it in that context, look, if you know anything about space, just you have a mild understanding of space. It's too big for nothing to be out there.
Bro, we still haven't even finished exploring the ocean.
Literally, honestly,
we don't know nothing. We don't know nothing about the ocean, bro. I mean, we think we do, but we don't, man. There's all kinds of stuff in the ocean. We have no idea.
I'm trying to tell you, it's space is too big for anybody. So I'm not telling you to assume that they're a little green men. I'm not trying to tell you that. I'm just trying to tell you, use your common sense. It's too big, bro. When you read about how big the Milky Way galaxy is, when you read about the distance between here and there, and there's a high probability that there are other intelligences out there. I mean, honestly, there is. Like, if you read about it and just read the shit, you know what I mean? So the idea that, in theory, hypothetically, of course, because I'm not a maniac, that a more advanced civilization might have contacted world leaders on this planet in order to establish a line of communications, but they are not yet ready to reveal themselves because our societal constructs would not be able to handle it psychologically. Yes, I could believe that, because everything would collapse. You need to ease people into this kind of thing. You would not. I ain't gonna assume, but if you wanted to get people ready for some bad news, you don't just spring it on them like, I have some bad news for you.
Look, I have it on good authority, and this is between us, and I will never speak of this again, but the reason why Donald Trump invented Space Force was because he was contacted by a leader of a one world government in outer space, and he sent him a dick pic, and that got under his skin.
Now listen,
no, that's a fact though. Like the Israeli general said that, there's basically
I'm reading the article right now,
there's a signed agreement between us and like an alien species, and they have like a base in Mars. And like Trump was so paranoid that he wanted to like release that information, but like everyone was like trying to tell him to chill out, bro. Don't fucking say anything.
Nah, because you They've
been doing this for thousands of years, man. They've been here for thousands of years.
That's the other thing that like nothing. If you look at the average ecosystem, just like nothing happens on accident, everything has a purpose. Nothing happens on accident. Now, for a society like this, for example, we're too divided, too violent, too primitive. To achieve space travel, to travel from one planet to another, you motherfuckers must just be super smart. You would have to be. So smart that why would you want to deal with these more? It's like the guys on Twitter. I don't want to deal with you. I block you. Like, don't argue with me. I don't have time for you. That's the aliens. Like, bro, like, we don't want to argue with y'all. Look, we out here, and we'll come back when y'all get y'all shit together. But until y'all get y'all shit together,
bro, they took one look at Artman and were like, "Nah, we'll come back in a couple centuries."
If you were aliens, would you want to come fuck with us? I mean, come on.
Look, they took one look at David Benavidez's resume and said, "Nah, not yet."
Nah, it doesn't check out.
Took one look at humanity and said, "We're gonna wait until they fucking get better."
They took one look at David Benavidez's resume and said, "Nah, man."
Bro, the aliens came over here to see fucking Spencer and Crawford, and they said they saw Spencer eating fucking chocolate covered strawberries. And now they're like, we can't
they saw Boxing Ego and LDBC's YouTube page was like, the species is not yet ready. We shot.
Hey, they took one look at David Benavidez and they thought, we don't want that smoke. We're fucking out of here. That's what happened. That's what happened.
Shut the fuck up, Mirage. Shut the fuck up.
Their UFO got hit by a white Ferrari, and they're like, "Nah, we can't."
Nah, but you know what? Let's say this, that there are conflicting things that without getting on our X-Files shit, right? Just not to be conspiracy theorists.
One of the greatest shows ever made, by the way.
Yes, it was,
Yeah, I
honestly.
like that show too.
but it's probable, not being crazy, not being it's highly probable if you read about this stuff.
Just by the law of averages.
It's to think that we're the only life force in the damn whole
look at it. We're here. Animals are here. Like, come on now. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk some boxing, Maverick. Don't worry about it. But it's simple. The plurality of world states that you can use, if you use this world as a model, like this is a model, okay? If you're this approximation from the sun, this approximation of planets, this distance, and you use that as a model and superimpose it to the rest of the universe, there's a high probability that there are many Earth-like planets. So the idea that there's people running around up there doing shit, yeah, man, shit.
Tank did a hit and run on a UFO and they never came back.
Hey,
where do you think he got that green purse from?
Dude, Joe, while we switch back to boxing, can I select a topic that we could cover right quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So let's talk about, because you and I don't agree. Let's talk about Callum Smith and Beterbiev.
Nah, I mean, look, bro, this is the thing. I'm going to say this. Callum has a shot that I don't like. You see what I mean? I'm not telling you he has no shot. I'm saying you got to be mid-range to inside to get off that hook, that counter hook. You're not better than him at that range. How do I know? Because when John Ryder was mid-range to inside on you, you was flustered. When Canelo was mid-range to inside on you, you was flustered. This guy got more power than the both of them put together. And I don't believe that you're going to be opening up and throwing hooks on the inside with this guy. Nah, son. You got flustered with John Ryder. And your best bet, which I'll concede this to Julio because he's the first one that I heard say it. It is true. He does have a great counter left hook on the inside. But are you going to be ballsy enough to throw it if this guy's that close to you? Nah. You bugging. He not stupid, bro. This dude let Canelo beat the hell out of his arms. But he's going to open up on our tour? Nah.
Yeah, it's not happening. It's not
He
happening.
can catch Arthur.
Fellas.
No, he could do it.
Artur isn't going to fight like Canelo. Like, he's not going to be hunched over trying to fight Beterbiev on the inside. Beterbiev is going to beat him there.
He can catch Arthur one of them catch and shoot hooks. He can catch him.
Is that going to knock Beterbiev out, though?
See, y'all not hearing me. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm saying I wouldn't bet on that shit. If y'all want to, that's y'all.
No, see, that's a fact because I concede. Like, what I'm saying is essentially what a madman would say. Like, I'm hedging my bet on one shot landing and that being the fight-defining shot. Like, I know that's not true, but if you look at the rankings, like, bro, who else in the light heavyweight division really stands a chance other than him or Dimitri Bivol? Excluding Bivol, like who else can possibly be a banana?
No, there ain't nobody, bro. Not right now. Not right now. There's not even a young prospect that shows me yet. I don't know what the future holds, but I know right here and right now, I don't see a young guy that beats this guy except for Bivol. Now, Callum's best bet is you gambling that he don't fuck you up on the inside. And this guy, his arsenal is too good. the body shots, the uppercuts up the middle, the punches that sail around the high guard. I do not trust that at that range, you're going to shoot that hook and land it. I don't.
Yeah, look, like I talked about this before, he couldn't keep John Ryder off for 12 rounds. He couldn't catch John Ryder. John Ryder is in there, in the pocket, to be hit. So you're banking on him taking out fucking Beterbiev with a shot. I mean, you can bank on the Hail Mary, sure, but let's keep it real. Canelo walked him down. Canelo beat him up like nothing. So I reckon he's going to get the fuck beat out of him, just walk down and knocked out by Beterbiev.
That's how I see that. Like if Canelo Alvarez, and I get the point that Julio's making, that Canelo bends at the waist and fights at a slight crouch, whereas Artur's torso is a little bit more upright. But you don't just throw punches at Artur, bro. Shit come back. Shit come back at you. If you try for that jab, he's gonna counter it with a right up the over the top. And you're not gonna want to throw. When you feel that, you're not even gonna want to throw nothing at this dude. Like, yo, this dude hit mad hard, B.
Yeah, and he's been shown when you press him, he doesn't throw back. He covers up with both hands against the ropes. He's just there to be fucking hit. That's demonstrated.
Big dude, man.
Multiple
Canno's never
fights.
been flawed, man. He's durable.
Well, he's a durable. He's a durable punching bag. Sure.
Look, I'm not going. Let's not disrespect Callum. I would pick Callum to beat most of the light heavyweight division. Most of it.
The punching bag against Canelo, and who else?
John Ryder?
Well, that was a close fight. I thought Ryder won it, but it was close. But John Ryder's a very good fighter.
John Ryder beat him like he was throwing. He was, put a good little beating. Like it was back and forth. But I mean,
yeah, but
John Ryder's fucking 5'8".
But John, that's the difference though.
John Ryder's a good fighter.
Yeah, well, that and also John Ryder's like fucking 5'7", 5'8". Like Callum's natural gifts, he has to go. He has to stray from them even more to be able to fight a small guy like that. It's the same reason Tyson Fury doesn't want to fight.
I'm not telling you that John Ryder that Callum is bad. I'm telling you that based on what you got to do, it's either you gonna knock him out or he's gonna knock you out. And I know that he's more of a knockout artist than you are, so I'm gonna go with him because at that range, he owns motherfuckers. At that range, motherfucker don't want to do nothing at that range with this guy. And I'm banking on you getting off the greatest left hook that was ever thrown by one of the Smith. Like, come on, B.
The thing with Callum, right, with Buddy, he's not doing that cover-up thing with Gallagher. He's letting his hands go. And like, if he can bring that confidence to Artur, you never know what could happen. Like, yeah, he may get knocked out, but at least he's gonna be getting his punches off. He ain't gonna be waiting. I'm gonna cover up and see if you tire out and all that crap. He's gonna get his punches off, and then we'll.
Callum Smith's gonna get his punches off.
Sorry?
Did you say? Do you mean Callum Smith is going to get his punches off?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. No,
well, I mean, did he do that against Canelo? I saw him covering up.
That's when he trained. Wait, why are you bringing up Canelo?
Wait, hold on, let me finish.
Why wouldn't I bring up Canelo? Why wouldn't I?
One at a time.
Can I answer if he says something to me? Right? That was when he was training with Joe Gallagher when he fought Canelo. He's fighting with Buddy McDonough now.
Okay, so he's transformed.
There are evident improvements since he's been with Buddy. Evident improvements.
All right, hold on.
I hate to be this guy, but I love being this guy. How the fuck we know Artur doesn't even drop the belt because it's going to go to purse bid?
Oh, no. We're assuming that they fight. That's what the whole conversation.
We can't do that with boxing.
All right, everybody chill. This conversation is happening on the presupposition that they do fight. So let's get the hypotheticals out the way. If they fight, here's the problem. A lot of boxers, when they feel something and they get hurt, they revert to what they know. If this guy feels Artur's punch, if he blocks a shot and it's a heavy shot, this motherfucker ain't going to want to throw. I guarantee it. He ain't going to want to throw.
Yeah, you can talk about these evident improvements and, he's changed trainers. Sorry. To me, you don't need to get trained like when somebody throws on you to throw back. If you cover up, that's instinctual to a fighter. And to me, there's limitations to how much you can train that out of a fighter. So, yeah, if he had to get trained to learn how to throw back, Sorry, that's not good enough.
What do you mean?
When you get pressed by a monster, you couldn't even handle the pressure from John Ryder. We're talking about Beterbiev. Are you fucking serious?
Did you just say if you have to be trained to fight? How else do you learn how to fight unless you train?
Okay. This guy's
ridiculous.
No,
you
this
have
guy's
to train. If you look, if you're going to have a chance of fighting anyone world class or elite, you have to train and learn how to do it.
Okay.
Now let me
respond. He's an experienced fighter already. He's experienced. If he needs to get trained at this stage of his career, that's instinctual. You can't get it out of him. That's
Let me raise this point. Let me raise this point. Let me just.
You need to get out.
Let me raise this point. Let me raise this point.
Casual. I don't know
This is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. All right. Callum has only had 2 fights under Buddy McGirt. You see what I mean? Now, I see what Beats is talking about, because before, if you get inside on Callum, he really ain't going to do a lot. Whereas now, he's catching and shooting. But that was Matthew Bowder Leak, Beats. That wasn't fucking Artur Beterbiev. And that dude been knocked out before, by the way.
Hey, you forget the Castillo knockout?
That was a right hand, though. That's what I'm saying. That was a right hand long range that he caught Castillo with. That was a right hand. If it would have been 2 knockouts off the same punch, a catch and shoot left hook, I'd have been like, yeah, that shit looking like a motherfucker, because you done knocked 2 motherfuckers out with it.
Beterbiev ain't unbeatable, so I don't know.
No, he's not. We talked about this, Beats.
I don't know who the guy you got on it. I don't know who you are. But you're talking like this guy's.
Hey, you should know who I am, bro. You should fucking know. Trust me.
I know. Okay, ladies, get a room. Bro, let me cook.
I'm an old man. You said what you got to say, right?
Hey, I started the whole conversation.
He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, right? But Callum is more than capable of giving him a good fight and doing what he's got to do.
Callum Smith's going to get the shit knocked out of him. That's what's going to happen, okay?
How do you know? Were you going in the
ring? Well, I know, because I know boxing, clearly.
Okay, you subjects of King Charles, quiet down. Let Julio cook.
Alex. All right, let Alex go. It's a little bit too hot in the room. Let Alex go. Alex, go ahead.
Yo, it was good, yo. That shit was good. Hey, but so, hey, for real, hey, this is why we here. This is why we all come back, baby. Appreciate you, Jules. Hey, so here's the way I see it, man. Like, I'm looking at it like I can't help but notice how Callum looks at light heavyweight as compared to 168. And when I say looks, I don't mean by who he fought and the outcome of the results. I'm talking the man himself. And I can't help but shake the feeling like, man, maybe this motherfucker is should have been at light heavyweight for the last 5 years. He looks way healthier, looks way better. His reaction time, I mean, I'm sorry, man, he looks like a completely different dude. So I'm thinking, like, you know what? What if they're call me crazy, but what if maybe Canelo beat him at light heavyweight, and also maybe, like, I see him in Beterbiev. If Beterbiev drops him and puts him out, would not be surprised. But at the same time, I think this is an actual fight.
I don't disagree with you, but we got to remember this.
You know what I mean?
Callum's at a new weight, and his opponents have been selected.
Hey, that weight ain't new. He don't have.
No, let me finish, bro. I didn't interrupt you.
You know what I mean? You what?
I didn't interrupt you. His weight.
He's interrupt me. Actually,
no. But he's at a weight where his opponents now are picked so he can practice these things he's been working on with Buddy McGirt. You can't assess how good he looks against competition that's not the elite. Because when he goes against that...
Brother, I already stated, and I'm not talking about the results of his...
No. All right, now let me mediate, because y'all motherfuckers... Let me mediate, because y'all motherfuckers...
And then let me jump in.
Tonight. Let me do this, all right? This is my whole perspective, right? This guy has had approximately 2 fights under this trainer, right? 2 fights. That's my perspective. And these 2 guys that you fought at light heavyweight, and I am impressed by him, by the way. I would pick him to beat most guys at light heavyweight. My problem is he is unusually tall. And tall fighters, they got to give up a little bit of height. Every fighter that I've ever spoken to, what do they say? They hate fighting little motherfuckers. Artur would be a little motherfucker to him. He'd be a little motherfucker. That means you got to give up a little bit of height just to hit this motherfucker. If you throw straight punches, he's going to throw a right hand over the top of your jab. That's what he's going to do. That's what he did to Joe Smith Jr. He'll do it to Callum. He'll do it to Callum. If Callum can't keep him out with the jab, and I don't think he can because of that counter right hand. If he can't keep him out with the jab, he's gonna get inside. You're not better on the inside than Artur. No way, bro. That dude is Mozart on the inside, bro. No way.
Jules, I agree with you. Here's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying, if Beterbiev stops him, I'm like, yeah, shit, I see that. Cool. Not surprised. But what I'm saying is, I don't see a blowout. I think Callum makes a good account of himself. It's a good fight, but he doesn't win. But like, it's a good fight. You see what I'm saying?
Can I finally add something like real quick? Like, first of all, Jules, I agree with you, but I disagree. Like, Beterbiev isn't short, man. He's like 6'2". Like, Marcus Brown is listed
he's 5'11". He's 5'11".
No,
he's
listen, stop interrupting. Marcus Brown is listed as 6'2", and when they fucking did the face-off, they were literally like probably a couple centimeters, if not same height, right? So he's really not that short. And second of all, you can't fucking compare guys who are 5'7" and 5'8" like Canelo and like John Ryder to Beterbiev. Like, he's not going to give up that much real estate. Why do you think Tyson Fury? We literally just went over this. Why Tyson Fury doesn't want to fight Usyk? Go look at how he looked against fucking Steve Cunningham.
Bro,
when he has to give up height. When he has to fight small.
You smart. I know what Callum gonna go out there and do. I know what you gonna do. There's one way you get off that hook, and I don't think you're gonna do it. You have to fight on the back foot. That's how you get off that hook. Because if you start thinking, oh, I'm going to jab and step into my jab and take the fight to him, yeah, you get countered and knocked out. So what are you supposed to do? You got to try to do what Ryan did to Fonseca. And I don't think you can do it because you're not that fast. You got to try to get him to lunge in. He don't make the other thing is you're not talking about no dumbass fighter that's going to lean over his lead foot and lunge in. He throw 2 short jabs to get you to cover up. And before you open up to try to throw a punch, he's in front of you and he's throwing punches. All right. He is not, you can't set this guy up that way. The most you could hope is that Father Time takes something out of him. That's the most you could hope.
Right. Well, that was my second point is like, come on, fellas, like, I get it. Beterbiev is for the most part a dominant champion, but like, bro, he's pushing 40. Like, why don't we ever apply the same reasons why we think Bivol is going to be the favorite if that fight ever happens for Callum Smith? Like, I'm not saying Callum is a favorite.
Callum don't got his feet. That's why. I've always maintained that Bivol's not going to beat this guy with his hands. He's going to beat him with his feet.
That's been your thesis the whole point since this fight brought up. It's going to be how he measures the distance with his feet, his in and out game, and do we think Callum Smith has enough on his punches to make Beterbiev reset every time he touches him? No.
The only way I could see him like Callum's power shots, and he does have power, by the way. In other words, if the scenario is, which is very crude, if the scenario is he lands the shot, yeah, I think he has enough power to knock out Callum. I'm Artur. I do, but I don't think you're gonna land because I don't think you're gonna be ballsy enough to throw it to begin with. You're gonna block a punch with your arm. You're gonna feel how heavy that shit is. And you're not going to want to throw, man. You're not. You're going to shell up. You're going to try to create space, and he's going to come on, and he's going to be hitting you on your – like, bro, Canelo knocked the fucking muscle out of this dude's arm, and Artur can't? You bugging. Yeah. You bugging.
So let me just say, was it Beats? Beats who I was talking to? Yeah, we're talking about training a fighter. To me, Callum Smith, he had the tools at 168. He had the tools, but to me, he didn't have the mentality. That's why he allowed Canelo, the shorter guy, just to beat on him for 12 rounds. Now, you can train, you can change certain things at a certain point, but at 27, he had 28 pro fights. He's an experienced professional. At some point, this is who you are. You either have the dog or you don't have the dog. I don't care if you change trainers. They can help you finesse the edges. They're not going to transform you. So when push comes to shove, when a fucking monster like Beterbiev puts it on you, you're going to resort to who you are, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's just not going to change. I don't see it changing.
No, I agree with that. When he feels the power, he's going to revert to what he knows. And what does he do when shots is getting in?
That's it.
Do you guys think it's more competitive than Beterbiev Yard?
No, because Yard had the right style. No, and I said this before. Yard had the right style to beat a Beterbiev, but not the right experience. He had the right style. With Artur, you got to try to work off the counter, even though he's doing that too. It's dangerous, but that's how you beat him, bro. That's how you beat him. Work off the counter while he's doing that. And Yard, didn't you see? He gave him a better fight than Joe Smith Jr. He did. He gave him a better fight than Marcus Brown. Had the right style. But you got the – everybody don't have what Yard has. Yard is fast. Yard do hit hard. He do. And he's quick enough and athletic enough that okay. But Callum, your best punches really are your straight punches. And them stiff-ass punches, right hand over the top.
And I think the intangible in every one of Arthur's fights is he measures it like my body and my threshold for attrition is going to hold up longer than yours. And you're going to get hit. So it's like who can hold up to the battle longer. That's how Arthur wins.
There's things that these guys listen. That's the virtue. Wait, this is the virtue of the two-handed puncher. You know, one-handed punches like Wilder. He's a one-handed puncher that you got power in the right. You know, yeah. He's a two-handed puncher. When he throw that double jab, that bitch is heavy, bruh. It's heavy. Shit. You know what I'm saying? And before you know it, he done punched you in the stomach. Oh, what the fuck? Uppercut up the middle. Oh. What the fuck? Like, nah, son, he's a two-handed puncher. That means bing, 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 bing. Ain't no way, bruh. If Rada got respect and Canelo got respect, Artur's not going to get respect.
But they got respect out of virtue of their styles and their statures. Beterbiev isn't going to fight Callum like that. But I'm not saying he's not going to get Callum respect.
Julio. Artur is not
and also just to quickly hold on, just to quickly respond to Drew's point, like, yeah, that's true. What you said is true, but we're talking about a 40-year-old man at this point. Like, at some point, that is gonna run out. That's not even.
I agree with you, Julio, but I won't believe it till I see it. But Artur, but to the flip side of that is, each fight Artur is taking more punishment than the previous fight. Look at his last 5 fights. He's taken more punishment each fight consecutively.
Hey, now, all I'm telling you is, look, man, if they fight, I got Artur. Why? You don't have the feet for this. This is not about your hands. This is about your feet, where you order him that you got to keep him in front of you. You got to keep him there. So that's not stepping into the fucking jab. You got to keep, that means you got to do that bullshit that Bivol do. Ming, and I'm out of here. Ming, and I'm out of here. You got to keep doing that. 4-12. Callum don't do that, bro, at all. In no way, shape. You don't got them kind of feet. Bivol got them feet, and that's the only reason. That's the only guy I would pick to beat him. All these other guys go to the hospital.
And the footwork issue is the reason why I say Callum makes a good account of himself. It's a good fight, but he fucking loses.
And that's why Bivol will beat him next year, because after this fight, we know Artur's going to get fucking hurt, and he's going to be out 6 to 9 months, like he normally is. There's an 85-90% chance he gets hurt.
Hey, man, when you fold, you break your hand in every fight, bro. That's a fact.
But even before that, Artur gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, shit starts at like 37, bro.
He's 38.
Not even the age. He does get hurt a lot. Ahead of what was supposed to be, it was either Meng Feng Long, because he was initially supposed to fight Meng Feng Long. He broke his fucking ribs. Then the other thing, he hurt his hand. Then the other thing, it was calcium deposits in his knees. It's like, yo, this it's an old motherfucker, bro.
That motherfucker like a Frankenstein project out here knocking.
You got to take an aspirin before he takes.
But like Callum is a good measuring stick, because I would pick Callum to beat Zerto.
No, that's a big one.
No, that one I would pick.
It's a close fight, but I lean Callum.
Drew on that one. I would pick Callum to beat Zerto, because Zerto don't do a lot outside coming in. He got to be up on you before shit start to happen. If you do that with Callum, he gonna hit you with one of them right hands. And don't forget, Zerto's a southpaw. What's the southpaw killer, Drew?
That right hand, baby. That's straight right.
He gonna hit him with that Lenin Castillo punch, and Zerto gonna be seasoned like a dildo on the floor.
I like that fight. Who do you like in Yard, Callum? That's a good fight.
Yeah.
You know why I'm leaning a little bit towards Yard? Because he's rolling counter, slipping counter. So Callum throw his punches tense. They're stiff. So that means that hand is out there long enough that he could Like he can roll.
But Yard makes a lot of technical mistakes that Callum doesn't because he's so
taking
basic.
Yard out, bro. Callum's taking Yard.
Callum doesn't do. He does all the basic shit correctly, whereas Yard, he'll fucking roll and counter, but he won't bring his fucking hands back.
Bro, don't say that because don't bullshit me. All right, Marcus fucking Brown. Don't bullshit me. Marcus fucking Brown is a motherfucking Olympian that was fundamentally sound. But who got their ass whooped worse? Marcus Brown or Yard?
But Marcus
Yard
was
in that fight, bro. Marcus was not. You wasn't in that
bro,
fight,
he was always ass though.
But
Marcus got lucky that Archer got cut.
Don't bring up the fund. Well, because of the fund. Bro, look, Yard he don't got all the special shit, but he got what you need. He did have that, like, yo, you need to be able to sit in the pocket with this guy and fight him. All right. A lot of these guys can't do that. You could do that because you roll and counter, slip and counter, and you strong and you quick. Now, is Callum quick? Not really. No, not really. You ain't quick like that to get off the bullshit. You're not. You gonna try for a lot of shit, and I'm telling you're gonna get hit and be like, nah, man, fuck this. And it's Canelo, but worse. It's Canelo, but worse. Because Canelo is a little ass man that was moving you around that ring like a hockey puck, moving you around that ring. If he could do that, Artur can't do that with them fucking Mongolian punches, them Dagestan punches. Come on,
them fucking I wrestle with bears like Khabib punches.
That motherfucker got more hair on his knuckles than motherfuckers got on their head, bro. Like, nah.
Nah. I gotta ask you this, Jules. With that, you're an alien. So what does that alien brain tell you? Are they gonna make a deal, or is Eddie gonna force a purse bid?
No, they're not gonna make a deal. What they're gonna do is they're gonna cavort behind the scenes. Bob and Frank are gonna cavort behind the scenes to beat Eddie at the purse bid, and I still suspect that somebody at these alphabets is helping them. That they'll tell the guys, look, remember, you know how the purse bid works. You have to give 10% of what you're about to bid. Who would know that? The people, the alphabet organization, in this instance, the WBC. So you tell Frank and Bob, look, he just gave us this number, right? This is 10% of X. So what you need to bid is just a little more than that. I believe that they're being paid to tip these guys off what the purse bid is going to be, because the Lou DiBella shit was suspect as fuck with Pascal. How is it y'all just bid 100,000 more than Eddie? It's almost like you knew what he was gonna bid, and you just put a fact. That shit was suspect in a mud, and I'm like, yo, who would know what Eddie's? First, is it possible to know? Yes, it is, because you have to make a deposit. The deposit is 10% of the overall bid. So if you got the 10% right there, like, okay, so this is what he's depositing, which means this is what he's gonna bid. Yo, Frank, bid this because this is what he's gonna bid. I think Bob and Frank gonna get together like they did before to beat Eddie at the purse bid. Then the question is, will Callum go over there to do the fight? For that, I don't have the answer. I don't know if Callum want to go to Queensbury for that one. I don't know.
But you're confirmed it's going to go to purse bid. You believe that?
Bro, because Eddie wants the fight, bro. He want that fight. He want to do it. So if you want to do it, you know how it go. Nah, we don't want that shit. We going to a purse bid, bro. We're going to go to a purse bid.
And also, going off the historical record, Eddie's fighters do pretty good on the road.
They do. To be fair, they do. Like Felix Cash beat Denzel Bentley. John Ryder beat Zach Parker. But Dillian White, he did get knocked the fuck out.
But Baumgartner beat Mayer.
That's true. That is true. That's a fair point. No, that's a fair point. That Matchroom fighters do all right on the road. That is true.
Well,
usually they do.
If the alphabet organizations isn't helping them against Eddie, then they got somebody on the inside who is that works for him.
Yeah, that's what my guess was. Either that or like the WBO was just cool with Bob, and maybe they had inside information.
Remember, it happened with the IBF with Pascal and Buatsi. That was the IBF. It goes to a purse bid, and somehow Lou fucking DiBella beats Eddie at the purse bid by a marginal.
That don't make no sense.
By a cunt hair.
By a fucking nose hair. And I'm like, bro, it's almost like he knew what Eddie was going to bid. How could he have known? And there is a way to know. You have to deposit 10% of the overall bid beforehand. So if the IBF has that information and then they turn around and say, yo, we'll tell you what it is for a price, I bet. Yo, he just deposited X, which means the bid is going to be Y. So you have to bid Z. That's what I think is going on. Because, it's, bro, how you outbid them by $100,000, bro? How? It's a blind bid. How? It's almost like you knew. Yo, Eddie going to bid this, so bid that. I think they helping them. Now, this is the WBC, but I still think it's the same scenario because motherfucking Frank beat Eddie for the white fight, and I was not expecting that.
You can't put anything past the WBC at this point. I mean, come on.
Bruh. It's like this is a dirty ass business, bruh. In case motherfuckers forgot, this is a grimy ass business, bruh.
Right.
I could wholeheartedly believe they selling that information. Why wouldn't they?
And the WBC is one of the worst on top of it all. So,
the WBC offers up their booty hole to anybody.
They got the right money, yeah. They got the right money. But I do believe it's gonna go to a bid because Eddie wants to fight. Bob is not a bozo. That fight ain't worth shit in America. A Russian and a UK guy, they don't know the motherfuckers.
No, Bob is being hard-headed with Beterbiev, man.
Bob gonna fuck around. Bob priority really should be, yo, get this motherfucker to Bivol fight, bro. Just put him in there. This motherfucker is old.
They ain't bringing none of them dudes over to America because these fools over here ain't gonna support shit if they do.
Shit, don't you see? Like I already see that Bob gonna try to outsource this shit, and he's gonna let Frank promote the show in the UK, not on the back of Artur's name, on the back of Callum's. That's how he'll try to sell it because it'll be in the UK.
But isn't that what Alexis is complaining about Eddie doing, outsourcing his fighters? But Bob is okay, right? He could do that. It's okay for Bob.
I stopped arguing with him about a lot of shit because it's like, yo, a lot of the shit you saying is silly, bro. Like a lot of the shit being real, like it's not worth arguing about no more. You just on some weird shit where you don't think Top Rank never do no wrong shit. Like, no, they fuck up too. They ain't perfect. They fuck up too. This motherfucker is 37 going on 38 years old. Why the fuck is he still fighting mandatories, bro? It's one big fight that'll get you the biggest purse of your career. And what they got you doing? Fighting fucking mandatories. That's stupid, bro. That's dumb. Just put the motherfucker in the fight and get it over with. If he win, he come back a hero. If he don't, you don't have to pay for him anymore. Do the same shit you did with Ramirez.
Also, it never fails to amuse me just how much that fucking cheapskate Frank Warren is basically just relying on Bob to subsidize his fight, his promotion, really.
Shit is stupid, bro. Like do what you did with Kovalev. When they did the deal with Kovalev for Canelo, they structured the deal to where, listen, motherfucker, you better come back a hero because if you don't win, you don't come back. Now, you got a 37 going on 38-year-old Russian light heavyweight that, unfortunately, he's not a big name out here. He is not a ticket seller, right? So why you want to keep having to deal with this? Let him have the Bivol fight for him so he can make money because he's not getting no younger. You know you're not going to make the money with Callum Smith you can make with Bivol in the Middle East. Let him do it. Shit don't make no sense. So then what? So you have to keep sending him the fucking Frank? Come on now.
Help my good friend Frank.
Hey, hold up. What is this
over
about
in the UK?
Like, what if maybe they know something we don't about Bivol's situation, and they know they can't get him for a whole year?
They're waiting him out.
So maybe
they're waiting him out, bro.
You think they're
waiting him out? But see, this is the problem. I believe they're waiting out Bivol's situation with Matchroom because they want to do the fight under the Top Rank banner. Now, what's the problem with that? If you're waiting out Bivol, you're in essence fucking over Artur. He's the one that needs to fight sooner than later. He's the old one.
Yep. Yeah.
If you're doing it that way, you fucking him. 2, if you do the fight at Top Rank, it won't get Artur the money that he'll get at Matchroom. Matchroom will take the fight to Saudi and put money in everybody's pocket. You just focused on, we want Top Rank to do it. We want Top Rank. All right, bro. That's not better for your fighter, though. It's not. You ain't gonna pay him nothing crazy. Case in point, Joshua Buatsi just got offered the kind of money to fight Bivol that Artur makes. Artur got 3 belts and done been there and done that with some of the best. They just offered Joshua Buatsi that kind of money to fight Bivol. Like, yo, let this man get paid, bro.
So what
Shit don't make no sense.
So why do you think they would wait him out? What's their motivation?
They want to sign Bivol.
Okay.
If this is what they figure. Let's wait out this situation. Let's see if we can't sign Bivol. If he wins, we control the light heavyweight division for the foreseeable future. If he loses, we control the light heavyweight division for the foreseeable future, because that's how they work.
Or how about, I like that. How about this? This might be in addition to, or whatever. But possibly they're waiting to see the outcome of Bivol Canelo too, because Canelo's the money man.
Well, that too.
Even if that happens, even if hypothetically Canelo wins, right? They're not gonna host a fight with Arthur. That's not gonna happen.
That ain't
no, they're not. But it probably still plays a part in it somehow.
They may
all it amounts to is they're still gonna have to go to the zone.
Maybe they're waiting to see what happens with the Canelo situation, and also that's keeping their guns holstered. That we can't compete with what he stands to make from a Canelo Alvarez fight. So we'll see if he's going to have it. If he doesn't have it, then we'll talk, because we can't compete with what he stands to make from that fight. That's saying that we'd have to entice you to move away from that. And what I don't like, which is really why I'm mad at Buatsi, bitch, if you would have fought Callum or you would have fought Bivol, he would have been busy that he can't fight Canelo, feel me? And then maybe Canelo fights Beterbiev. Benavidez or somebody. You know what I mean? I don't need a Bivol rematch. If you would have fought Callum's not available for Beterbiev, so Beterbiev could go fight Bivol. But you don't want to fight shit. They offered Buatsi Callum Smith. So imagine if Buatsi fights Smith, Beterbiev is free to fight Bivol. And Canelo, pick somebody. Benavidez, Andre, I don't care. Pick one of them and fight them in September, because these four motherfuckers is busy. But this fuck don't want to fight shit. You want fucking Adam Aziz. Damn.
Okay. Julius, I have a question for you. Because, look, I scored the Bivol versus Canelo fight. I didn't think in that moment it was a close fight. I still think it wasn't a close fight. I gave Canelo like 2 rounds, maybe. But the judges didn't see it in that way. He lost for 2 rounds. That's not that much. So for me, there is a possibility that Canelo wins that fight against Bivol, the rematch. But my question is this. Do you think there is any chance that Canelo goes after Beterbiev if he wins the Bivol fight and then he retires?
No, he'll go after Badu Jack. You go after Badu Jack.
Yeah, because that's a weaker link.
It's still.
Are you calling Canelo a cherry picker, bro?
No, I'm just saying. Look, bro, you got to get off that guy's back, bro. You high on Beterbiev. You high on Benavidez for doing nothing. Whereas what I'm saying is, I do think this kid's close to retiring. I do. It all fits.
I'd love to see Badu Jack get one last payday, because he's also.
I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying that for a while as well.
It
I
all
reckon he's close to
fits.
retiring as well.
It all fits. Like, he's doing the hometown fight for the hometown fans, the return home, the full circle shit. And I'm like, look, how did Floyd go out? Floyd went out with Andre Berto, all right? How did Hopkins go out? He literally got thrown out of the fucking ring. How did Cotto go out? Dislocating his shoulder and losing to Saddam Ali. So if this kid, and I do think he is, if he's on the verge of going out there, look, I'm about to cap it off. If you cap it off, okay, I'm going to go out fighting a champion at cruiserweight. I'm okay with that, bro. I'm okay. Because you earned it. Now, these young motherfuckers, I'm sorry, Mirage. That motherfucker, you too young for the bullshit that be going on, bro. You too young. You're not doing enough. It's crazy.
Canelo doing that and say he win or lose. No one's gonna say, well, he retired and he didn't fight Benavidez. No one's gonna bring that up.
That's what I'm saying. When you think about Sugar Ray Robinson, yeah, you could say that he didn't fight Charlie Burley, but you still what's likelier to come up is what he did do. You know what I mean? You could say, yeah, Floyd, you didn't fight Margarito. Cool, I beat Shane Mosley that beat Margarito. I beat Manny Pacquiao that beat Margarito. I beat motherfucking Cotto that won the rematch. It's like legacies aren't measured that way. Wait, Mirage. There are literally about 4 to 5 other guys. He just beat 3 champions. 5 other guys sprout up out the ground like fucking gremlins. Well, I gotta fight. Fight all 5 of them too, huh?
And think about it though. You don't mention a Hall of Famer's critiques till you mention about 30, 40 things that made him a Hall of Famer. You got to go down the fucking list before they go like, oh, he didn't do this. But they say, oh, he did this, he did this, he did this, he did this. So that fucking shit with David, that's going to get lost in the sauce.
That's what
it sounds like you guys already hang on.
It reminds me of the P. Will shit with Floyd. That's what it reminds me of. That there's people that bring up that Floyd never fought Paul Williams or that he didn't fight Margarito. There are people that bring that up, but that does not outweigh.
Margarito wasn't even in his division, bro.
All I'm saying is that people bring it up, Mirage, and all I'm saying is legacies are not measured that way. For example, they talk about Ward, right? When Ward was the unified champion, Ring Magazine and the Lineal, who was coming through? Artur and Bivol. Now you'll get the odd guy that brings that up, that, you know, a couple of fights they would have been on his ass. Yeah, but that don't take away from what he did, though. He's a unified champion at super middleweight, a unified champion at light heavyweight. You know what I mean? You go and retire, bro. And when you retire, I promise you, there's gonna be somebody in the queue, because there's always somebody in the queue.
Okay. When Sugar Ray Leonard retired, they list his accolades, and then it takes a while. Aaron Pryor made his whole career trying to say fucking Sugar ducked him. That's David right now.
Hang on. So you guys are almost like conceding already that he's not going to fight Benavidez.
No, we're conceding that it doesn't make or break his legacy if he doesn't.
Okay, hang on. Make or break, that's a huge statement. I'm not even saying it's going to make or break. I'm just saying it's going to be an asterisk. Like, you move up to 168, you did become undisputed.
Mirage,
never fought.
You're talking about. Wait a minute.
Man,
wait. The only way this works out that way, and you have to concede this. If Canelo, you know, he fucks off, he does whatever, right? David, you better not get beat. You better not.
Obviously.
No, you're not listening. Ain't nobody gonna be sitting around talking about why he ain't fight Benavidez if you get your motherfucking ass kicked.
Obviously.
But hold on. Also, like,
sure,
it's not an asterisk though. It's a cherry on top. He already completed the assignment. He already yelled go fish.
Bro, we're not idiots, bro. Come on.
Well,
okay, he completed the assignment, but you know,
is he already a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yes, sure.
So everything he's doing now is fucking extra.
It's partially on top of the food.
Exactly.
Right? He
doesn't mean we can't criticize him. That doesn't mean it's beyond criticism. That doesn't mean it's beyond criticism.
No, but the criticism is like.
Well, I'm not splitting hairs. Mirage, I'm not telling you that he's beyond criticism. I'm telling you that in the greatest scheme of things, when people look back, they're not gonna really focus on that Benavidez shit, bro. They're not.
Well, yeah, okay. They're not going to focus on it, sure.
Speaking of the super middleweight division, can we talk about Billy Gongora? Because in my opinion, and I know this is going to anger Mirage, but I think the winner of that fight,
who the fuck
the
is
winner of
that
that fight is far more deserving of a Canelo payday than David.
Well, that's ridiculous. So I'd have to Google
the winner of that fight is more deserving of a Canelo payday than fucking Boo Boo, than David Benavidez, than Charlo, than all those.
You're a hater, bro.
Let me make this consistent, bro. Let me concede this, because I have to, because I know that Mirage's blood pressure will boil if I don't say this. If it's up to me, he fights Benavidez in September. If it's up to me, because I think he can beat him. I'm sorry, but I don't see what's special about Benavidez. You're just a big guy that throws a lot of punches. Your quality of competition sucks. It's levels to this, all right? But that's if it's up to me. Now, I don't want him to fight Bivol again. I seen that already, bro. I don't want to see that.
All this PBC hate you get, Jules. You're the one that said I want Canelo to beat Charlo, Benavidez. And all those dudes.
If it was up to me, he would be taking out the guard. If it was up to me, if Canelo is facing the end, then I would like for him to take out the garbage before he go. Fight Charlo, that dude is trash. Fight Andre, that dude is trash. And cap it off with a goodbye kiss for Benavidez. Like,
Yeah,
bro,
because you'd be right.
He beat them guys.
Beat the shit out of them.
Now, Bivol, that's a different fucking gravy, bro. Leave him alone, bro. Fight Benavidez.
Like,
that's
what I'm saying. Canelo fighting Gongora is a way more competitive fight than him fighting Boo Boo.
Bro, I don't even want him.
No, yeah.
Take care of this. Because I'm sick of these guys that they've been hanging around, not fucking doing nothing, and they get to talk shit just because they gotta, take it.
So let me ask you this, Mirage: do you think Bivol is a better fighter than Benavidez?
Not at all. Not at all. And there's actually, when you think about it,
you rate David Benavidez higher than Dimitri Bivol.
So let me break this down, because people now, we've got the Monday morning quarterback syndrome. Let's rewind.
No, that's all I asked. It's a yes or no question. I don't need to break it down.
I'm gonna fucking expand. No,
I don't need to. I'm not done.
Yes, you do. You need.
So no. Hold on. So you think David Benavidez is better? So Canelo could rematch. Canelo could rematch Bivol in September, win, and retire, and you'd have an issue with that.
I'll have a big issue, because that would involve dropping the WBC belt. So to me, they talk about, Bivol, if he fights Bivol, that's okay. To me, the more relevant fight is the guy in your division who's the mandatory for the belt you hold. To me, that's more relevant than a guy in another division that you've already lost to. So I don't accept this narrative that it's okay to rematch Bivol over Benavidez. That's a fucking duck, in my opinion.
How's it? It's a duck.
No.
It's a fucking duck. Right there.
Look, you could listen, because I don't try to change people's minds. Mirage, you can have that opinion, but if I ask the majority of people, yo, is that a duck? If I take a poll right now on Twitter or here on YouTube, they're just gonna say, no, that's not a duck. That's what most people gonna say. You in the minority that is overblowing Benavidez. You in the minority with that shit. The majority of people do not think that shit, bro. I could take a poll on any social media platform. It's going to come back the same. But I don't care about the poll, and I don't care about that shit. Because like I said, if it's up to me, the motherfucker that he fight is Benavidez in September.
Yeah, okay, but Jules, don't you think that's I'm at a legitimate point? Like, if he has to drop the belt, dropping a belt is a big deal. So surely that gives weight
for
to
another belt, bro. For
take out Benavidez, and fight Bivol in 3 months later. Benavidez is so easy.
Take the argument. You can't keep making this argument like Canelo ain't fighting with a handicap, because that's what you're missing. He is. Handicap? This little motherfucker debuted as a goddamn welterweight. Why the fuck is he at light heavyweight before you, and you big as shit?
5'9" too.
Okay, but like, he's in the division, he has to fight.
Scary ass shit. Like, my God, if you really want to impress me, man, fuck Caleb Plant. Go do that shit to Bivol.
Caleb Plant's gonna get fucked. We're acting like Canelo's not fighting David to go fight Ivan Redcatch or a Rod Salka.
This is why fighters like Chocolatito, for example, when he got knocked out in his 4th division, that was some bullshit. Y'all calling him a hype job, all this bullshit. Bro, that was his 4th weight, bro. This motherfucker scared to go up 2 weights like David. Scary ass motherfucker.
Okay, so we haven't talked about the fight announcement, like he's fighting John Ryder. Am I the only person here that's dissatisfied with this fight? Surely not.
I'm not. I know it's going to be a fun fight to watch, and I know it's going to be a fun fight
how
to
long
watch.
It lasts? I mean...
No, I'm not disagreeing that John. Wait. I'm not disagreeing that John is going to get knocked out. I'm just saying that based on how John fight, John ain't no back foot bitch. He ain't trying to play keep away all night. That man trying to fight. So Canelo, you going to have to fight, because he going to make you fight. I like that.
The one positive. That's the one positive. I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. I'll give it that.
I already booked my hotel and my flight.
Wow.
The shit I'm saying, I ain't doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing unfair to David or setting an unrealistic bar that I don't literally have for everyone else. And it's simple, bro. These guys make their careers about one fighter, and you know Aaron Pryor did that shit. People don't remember you, Aaron, the way they remember Sugar. They don't. So you keep doing that fuck shit instead of fighting people, and you will be lucky if you are remembered. You will be. You'll be lucky.
Julius, can I say something? I cannot believe I'm gonna do this, but I have to defend Mirage in this point. Look, we have been talking from a while the term of sophisticated duck. And for example, what Mikey Garcia did to jump 2 weight classes to fight Errol Spence, a fight everyone knew he was not going to win. This is not because I have the I said Mirage long time ago. I have a feeling that Canelo has some issue with David Benavidez. So in this case, for me, fighting a guy that I cannot see him, I cannot see Canelo beating people legitimately. So this, for me, in
it's
this,
suspicious. There's something you can sense. Something.
yeah,
suspicious.
for me, it's suspicious. Now, I'm not gonna give him the amount of shit that Mirage is doing because I'm sorry to say this, Mirage. I don't see you as a Benavidez fan. I see you as a Canelo hater. But yeah,
both.
if you're
I think I'm
talking
both,
about
actually, but
yeah, but you are more of a hater of Canelo than David Benavidez fan. But if we're talking about Mickey Mouse, artist Mikey Garcia, in the way we were talking, him dogging Vasil Lomachenko, yeah, we can say Canelo will be dogging Benavidez by fighting.
And let me say this. Let me say this. It's simple. It's not complex. That boils down to how you view the fighters. That's how you view the fighters. I said from the get, Bivol is the most dangerous fight. This guy's gonna fuck around and beat you. I've been said that. That's not new. The fucking videos is up before the fight got made.
Yeah, you did say that, Jules.
So this guy's fucking dangerous. Out of all these guys that they in the hat, they in the running to fight Canelo, I said this is the guy that's gonna fuck around and win. Because this guy's dangerous. David is basic. It's basic. It's all hype. It's not substance.
But Jules, hang on. He's basic. Okay, maybe he's basic, but he has serious physical attributes that compensate. That's the thing you seem to almost minimize. You can be basic, but if you're fucking big as fuck and you fucking have power and you throw a lot of punches, sometimes that's all it fucking takes to fuck people up.
I don't disagree.
So that's the thing.
All right.
You're minimizing a bit, I think.
I don't. All right, Roman Villa is basic, but did he fuck up? Did he fuck up Rashidi Ellis? Yes, I agree with you that sometimes all you need is the basics. That's why mac and cheese is so good.
Well,
but I'm just saying,
can I quickly interject? Like, Canelo has beaten numerous basic fighters, and he gets nothing but flack for it.
Exactly.
Nothing but flack for it.
Okay,
so,
sure,
like,
but has he beaten basic fighters?
Before, because
he's beaten athletic fighters. He's beaten technically gifted fighters. He's beaten.
Hang on. Has he beaten basic fighters that have that combination, size, speed, power, and that Mexican fucking viciousness? The combination. I don't think he has.
He's from Ecuador.
What about Golovkin?
okay, Benavidez. Okay, hang on. Have you seen a photo of Benavidez and Golovkin next to each other? Benavidez is fuckloads bigger. Yeah, right there, that's a huge attribute.
Bigger doesn't mean a better fighter, though.
I didn't say that. I'm saying, but I'm saying they're not the same. He has certain attributes. To me.
Look, I know what Mirage. I know what you mean. You mean Jorge Linares. You mean Jorge Linares, Pablo Cano. We all know that Jorge is a better boxer than Pablo Cano, but the size whooped his fucking ass. I got you, bro. I got you. But I've seen Canelo in there with enough big guys. Like, dog, I know how that fight goes. I want to see it. Now that is why I would prefer that in September, because Sunday morning, I'm going to be ejaculating all day.
And here's what I know from my sources. Canelo did not enjoy the operational handling of his fight with Plant. It was rinky-dink, mediocre, and he's not going back there. Listen. He liked dealing with Eddie. You know what Eddie did for Canelo his first fight in Vegas with him? He rented out a whole floor at Vegas and turned the fucking floor into a putting green. So while Canelo was there the whole week waiting for the fight, he's practicing golf in the fucking hotel.
Al Haim, look, just, and this goes back to the conversation we had the other day, Mirage, that I'm 100% sure, 100% sure, if Canelo, man, fuck John Ryder right now. I want Benavidez right now. Make him an offer. Bring him to the zone. I promise you, Benavidez won't go. I promise you.
What do you mean he won't go?
He won't go to the zone. He won't.
Look, okay, I don't see this. I don't like getting involved in this, political contractual. Who goes? That to me, that's a fucking shitstorm. But to me, if he gets offered that fight, he will climb a mountain to get that fight. In my opinion,
I promise you, he won't.
Shitstorm or not, it's part of the reality of it.
And we don't know. I don't even know. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it.
Bro, I'm just telling you. Let me remind you of something, Mirage. This dude had to go to Caleb 3 times to get him in the ring.
Okay.
Because they wouldn't let Caleb cross the street. But you think they're going to let David cross the street.
Well, if the reward is so high for Undisputed, I think they're going to they would do it. But until Canelo makes the offer, we're just flopping it out.
We pissing in the ring. We
for the sake of it. It's a point of time. It's a waste of time.
But I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I seen Canelo's press conference for the John Ryder. Let me read the super chat. What Canelo did at Benavidez's current age is more. That's true. Let me read this other super chat. Lucy Fire Dodd said, "How would Greb do today as a middle? He whopped heavyweight champ Dempsey 3 times, lost 7 times. Yeah, like you would have to train him modern."
Greb would terrorize people.
As a physical specimen, Greb was great because he was able to go to heavy. But don't forget that the average heavyweight back then was anywhere in between 175 to 200 pounds. He wouldn't be able to do shit like that today. Now, he might be able to go to light heavy. He might be able to go there. But to answer the question, I think he'd do all right as a physical specimen. I think he'd do all right. But you would have to train him modern because fighters today don't fight the way they did when Harry Greb was around. They don't. They are different. But because the guys were tougher back then, I think he'd whoop a lot of ass. Because the guys were tougher. The physical conditions and the sport was a much harsher sport than what it is today.
And he went longer rounds on top of it, too.
That is a 15-round fighter. These guys lucky if they got 7 good rounds in them, let alone fucking 15.
Hey, hell yeah. Motherfuckers usually get their ass whooped while going down, while trying to get back up and shit.
Motherfuckers be going life or death for 7 good rounds. Them motherfuckers was going at it 15 rounds, going crazy. Motherfucking Joe Louis versus what's that guy, that fast guy standing in front of him throwing all them goddamn punches. Them motherfuckers made out of some different shit.
And you know what? And you know what? They came from the cats who fought when there was no limit on rounds.
Exactly. So I think Greb would do okay, but you got to tweak things because he was a physical specimen, and I always revert to that when you talking about them 15-round fighters. They was made out of some different shit, and because he was a good physical specimen, I think he would do okay. You just got to train him modern. You know what I mean? Because guys ain't doing this no more. They ain't. You ain't shooting the jab like that no more, right? You got to train him modern. But other than that, I think he'll be all right. Now, back to this Benavidez shit. I saw the press conference for Canelo versus Ryder, and they brought up Benavidez. And I don't know. I got the distinct impression that he's thinking about fighting him instead of Bivol.
Okay.
And when I say,
listen, wait. Bivol ain't going. Where is Bivol going, bro? Where the fuck is he going?
Nowhere. He ain't got nobody to fight.
But I need to handle this. I want to handle this shit because there's one thing you know about Bivol. 2 things really. 1, he's not going anywhere, and 2, he's not going anywhere. And 2, he beat me already. I need time. I'm not rushing to go over there and hit with him again when he beat me already. I need time. Now you're basic bullshit.
And my source and the politics have to come into play because Jules knows I got sources too. The man that told me Canelo didn't like his experience over there and won't go back is one of his primary attorneys.
I'm telling you, bro, I said it the other day. He's not going back there. And yes, it does matter because if he takes care of Rada and the next thing he does is call out Benavidez in front of all them Mexicans, bitch, you better go, Mexican monster.
So Jules, like I watched the press conference, but it was obviously I couldn't understand it. But the translations that I was seeing in regards to Benavidez, Canelo said, ultimately, we will see. We will see. Is that correct? Is that the correct translation?
That is what he said. But
so, okay, to me, does that sound like a guy that's enthusiastic, that wants to build up and hype up a big fight? It's going to be a big fight.
You're reading it wrong.
Tell me.
Wait a minute. No, you reading it wrong because the fact that he said we'll see tells me you are thinking about fighting. Because if you weren't, you would have said I'm fighting B-Ball in September.
Yeah, he wouldn't have said nothing about it.
Okay, to me, it sounds like obfuscation. To me, to be honest,
to me, it sounded like you're rethinking that B-Ball fight because if you know for sure after Ryder B-Ball, then that's what you would have said. You said we'll see.
And he's going over his options because he knew that Makabu fight was there. Reynoso and him knew that they could have got that strap.
On some real like all this shit about Benavidez, I'm like, bro, I want him to fight Benavidez, which is the part that everybody misses when I bring this up. That no, fight Benavidez. B-Ball ain't going nowhere. And aside from Artur, who's gonna beat him? Nobody. There's nobody up there that beats that guy except.
Also, why are we talking like it's a foregone conclusion that he's not going to shit the bed against Caleb Plant though?
Because that's very unlikely.
Look, the shit is that, and I said this already, bro. I said this ahead of the Canelo fight. You got a doo-doo shoulder roll. You don't got a great gas tank. Unless you want pads, bro. Unless you want pads. I don't like, because he got a doo-doo gas tank.
But he does have a chance. Like Breadman Edwards, he was in an interview. And I think he said that a lot of the shit. He said a lot of the shit that I think where, like, yeah, Caleb does have a path to victory because, yeah, fucking these big motherfuckers don't like fighting on the back foot. The only way to beat him is to push him back. But does Caleb have the wherewithal to do that and get hit and get hurt and then keep doing it?
That. Gun to your head, you know that. No, he doesn't. He'll get cut. He'll get tired. It's a lot of shit that could go wrong for Caleb because Caleb is I don't know, like a B minus. That's the other thing. Stylistically, if I just go off the styles, which is usually the base for what I think, Caleb is a pure boxer and not even a very good one. What's David Benavidez, guys? What is he?
Pressure fighter.
And what do pressure fighters usually do to pure boxers?
Beat the shit out of them.
Unless they're elite pure boxers. But
Mirage, is Caleb Plant an elite pure boxer?
No, he's a discount. He's a discount, sort of.
What
Mayweather style boxer.
The great guys. Now let me do this shit. The great guys like Bivol, who I think is a great fighter. Most of the time you see Bivol, he's a pure boxer. That's most of the time. He knew I can't be that with Zerto. I need to step into my jab. I need to initiate some of the action. He literally did some boxer punches shit for Zerto. Every other time he's a pure boxer. Every other time. Economics, stay on the outside. I ain't even here for you, homie. But with him, no, I'm in and out, bro. I'm not going to let you bring the fight to me. I'm going to bring me to you. And then I'm going to back up when you try to counter and pop you again.
And the shit that he's known for, Caleb isn't even good at. Like his shoulder roll is like a no smoking sign, bro. Like that shit gets ignored.
Shoulder roll is a dinner roll, bro. Like it's a dinner roll. Like
that shit is like a no firearms allowed at this.
I just point. Now because it's boxing and boxing is the theater of the unexpected, which is true. You would have to rely on Caleb becoming a different fighter than every version of him you've seen before that. And I'm not relying on that, bro. I would be amazed if he did it. I'd give him credit. But I'm just saying that every time I see you, pure boxer. And sorry, not a very good one.
But even when he's
improved a little bit, though, since the Canelo
because of Anthony Durrell?
No,
yeah,
not
that's
just-
true. That's another thing. Like people are hyping Caleb up for these improvements, but it's
No,
been
I'm not
one
saying
fight.
because of Anthony Durrell, but just in general, do you think he's improved at all?
Bro, he has fought once since being knocked out. If he improved, I didn't see it. All I seen was, okay, you knocked out Durrell.
Yeah, you're sitting on your shots now, but
Yeah,
when you get
so-
hit back, are you going to keep doing that though,
So,
or are you going to go
so
back?
for all his flaws, like in terms of like a boxing ability, there's some things you'll never change. From what I've seen, he's a brittle fighter. Like he can't take punishment, and two, he doesn't have a gas tank. Those things you just can't change.
And you need both. See, the way to beat Benavidez, don't get on your back foot, because then he's going to chase you and he's going to catch you. You don't do that. You have to sit in the pocket with him and angle off, roll and counter. You have to fight. You don't have the gas tank to fight. No, you don't, bro. You got tired doing laps around the ring with Canelo. You got tired. Now, if you in the pocket with this guy and he's letting him go, you got to slip all of that. Get it in. Get it in. And that's fighting for 3 minutes, bro. That's a long time. Like doing that round at the round. I don't think you got the gas tank for that. Now, if Victor Conte has prepared a cocktail for you that enables you to do that, hey, but I don't know, bro. I just can't.
No, he has a magical serum that gives him Floyd's shoulder roll. Imagine that.
I can't trust him, bro. Like I don't. Nah, what you got to do to win that fight, you don't be doing that, bro. But you gonna do it now, right? I don't know, bro. So you got more faith in him than me, bro. I'm like, nah. The two things that you need to beat this guy, you ain't got them. You ain't durable, and you ain't got a great engine. Now, if you could make it, see, like you could compensate for a lack of power. You can compensate for that if you make him miss, because he'll burn out energy faster than you do if you make him miss. But you not that guy, bro. You do be getting hit though. Like, yeah, you do. So we gonna see. I don't like being negative for the sake of being negative. I'm just going off of what I've seen so far. You don't have a good gas tank. You are not durable, bro.
Okay, wait. Are we saying Caleb Plant is not durable because he got knocked out by Canelo Alvarez?
No, because I said that before he got knocked out by Canelo Alvarez. In fact, I said he's going to get knocked out by Canelo Alvarez because he's not durable. You know who's durable? Callum Smith. And I said that. I literally, you don't have to believe nothing I say. The videos is up. I said Canelo's not going to knock Callum out, but he's going to outwork him. Now with Caleb, oh no, bro, you're going to get tired and you're going to get knocked out. And two, you don't take a good punch anyway. You don't. You don't.
You take a lot of punches leading up to those that you don't
If you watch the Usyk-Katagi fight, I mean, Caleb Plant won the fight. He won it convincingly. He got busted up. He got busted up pretty bad in that fight.
And that's a fight that he won.
And he won. So
he
we're talking about durability.
He gets shined up and cut in almost all of his fights.
Yeah, so we're talking about durability.
Oh, there's a boxing match. I mean, come on.
No. But
Callum is durable though. Like Callum. I don't want this to sound wrong, but he a big dummy, and that's good for fighting. You get hit, just keep going. You know what I mean? Caleb, nah, son, like.
And then he has the reputation of being a defensive wizard just because he uses one technique very poorly.
Exactly, because
fucking Callum Smith with a basic ass high guard gets lit up less.
And I swear to God, Callum would knock fucking Caleb the fuck out, bro. The fuck. All right? Now that's a fight. Now, if it was Benavidez and Smith, I like that fucking shit. All right? Both got power.
What do you think about Benavidez versus Zerto?
Benavidez has speed. And that might be the difference. That could be what separates.
Zerto is slow as fuck. He's sluggish as fuck.
They're both that their range is the same. But
speed, speed that can change the equation completely
and add power to the punch. He'll beat him to the punch, and because he's faster, and add power to the punch. And don't forget that Unieski Gonzalez was wobbling him, bro. Unieski Gonzalez was wobbling Zerto.
They used to say
that's when I knew Zerto's just not all that. Zerto's a fucking joke.
They used to say on Tuesday Night Fights, speed equals power. I remember Sean O'Grady saying that, in boxing.
Not necessarily, but yeah.
No, but
it'll add something. It'll add something. And also remember, the shots that you don't see is the ones that knock you out. Who's likelier to hit who with a shot that they don't see? Benavidez. His punches are faster. They are fast in the pocket when they're both in front of him. Zerto still looks slow in the pocket. He still looks slow, like, and you're not supposed to look slow, but yeah, you look a little bit slow there, man.
Yeah, I saw a video of him in regular clothes, and he was throwing some shots, and he looked slow when he was doing it there.
Yeah, man, like. So
don't be surprised if his fight this weekend is a lot more competitive than we think.
Bro, if it's competitive with Dave, he better just hang them bitches.
I think it's going to go late, and it's going to be a bit of a fucking back and forth. He'll overwhelm him eventually, but I think it's going to be laughably competitive, I think, anyway.
Bro. Yeah, I mean, so look, man, if Caleb going, and I like the chaos. I like when the unexpected happens. So I'm not even against Caleb winning. I'm just saying, if history is any indicator of things to come, and it usually is, you can't just become a different fighter overnight.
No, you can't.
No. But, the right game plan, like, I always, to this fight, like, the way I see him winning is the same way I saw J-Rock beating Jared Hurd. And guess who was in his corner that night?
Breadman.
Same guy. I'm not trying to hype the guy up, but what I'm saying is that.
So what's your official pick, bro? Give me your official pick.
Dude, I made my prediction weeks ago. I said Benavidez is going to knock his ass out with an uppercut or a left.
Where was Breadman when he was in the corner when he fought Charlo?
Will it be competitive until he knocks him out? Will it be back and forth, or will it be like a steamroller? What happens before that?
I got to think. I think Caleb will be a live dog for like 3-4 rounds. And
you know what it'll look like? You know what it'll look like? Caleb's going to get out there all spirited and shit, right? In the first round. He's going to get out. He's going to look like, because grudge match and shit. Couple of shots for Benavidez are going to get in. Couple of shots. This bitch marks up easy. So he's going to be marked up probably by the end of the first round. And then it'll be those shots little by little from round 1 to round 3 that'll wear him down. By round 4 and round 5, he's getting hit. He is getting hit.
That's the thing about Benavidez. He can change gears. He changes gears very well. The other day, I rewatched the Ellis fight. Now, you guys are going to shit on Ronald Ellis, whatever. First round, Ronald Ellis put it on Benavidez. He jumped on him. He's throwing combinations. He had him against the ropes. Second, third round, it's fucking over. Completely changed when he started feeling the punches. So I think it's going to be similar, but it'll go longer. 2-3 rounds. Cato Plant's going to do his thing, but eventually he's going to get just fucking broken down.
And there's a separate scenario. And this is the least likely scenario, that you have the game plan of all fucking game plans. And I don't trust him to do it, because a part of it is going to the body. Bitch, you can't go to the body. Like, you go to the body, you gambling motherfucker, but you do have to go there for a guy like this, because.
Oh, and that's what I'm saying. No one's ever done that to Benavidez.
Because it's not safe, bro. That's why. If you go into the body, all of this is open.
Also, he fights bums. Let's be real.
True. But it's just,
do you think David can effectively cut off the ring with Plant, or is he going to have trouble with his movement at first?
Well, that's a good question, because I mean, but come on, man. Like, we're acting like Caleb is like fucking Lara, like he's just gonna be
No, but it is gonna be a bit of a
David
factor,
hasn't
though.
shown the propensity to be able to cut off the ring properly. He's shown he can follow and impose himself, but he hasn't shown his ability.
Yeah, but he gets tired. Like, a lot of his style is athleticism based.
Even for a little bit, it's still going to be a factor for a little bit. So I mean, in those moments, how well do you think that's going to go?
That's true. And also, it's fair to say that David also doesn't have the strongest footwork either.
Look, Caleb. Look, all right. Let me simplify. If Caleb tries to create a fight where Benavidez has to close the distance, you won't win that one either, because you're going to gas out. You won't win that one either. You can't beat David from the outside. You're not tall enough. You're not long enough. You're not strong enough. You can't beat him from the outside. Caleb's only chance to really win this fight is in the pocket, and that's the problem. You're not durable enough to sit in the pocket with this guy.
Well, he can't stay. No, he can't stay in the pocket. He has to get in and out. Get in.
If
Get
the
his
goal,
shots and
listen,
get out.
if the goal is to put David on his back foot, and I think we all agree that that's
gotta commit.
That's what they want to do, right? That means you got to impose yourself on him. And well, okay, Caleb, go ahead, do it. He's gonna get knocked out, bro.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be Zoo. There's gonna be Zoo Harrison too.
Yeah, man, like he's gonna get beat like a fucking drum, bro. Like
right.
He's gonna get beat like I think he is. And if he doesn't, okay, great, upset, whatever, fine. You know, if he doesn't. But am I trusting that? Nah, bro. You're gonna get beat like a drum. You can't you have to have certain things, and that's the part of it that doesn't get said a lot in these conversations. There are intangibles, like what Katie Taylor had when she went pro. She's fast as fuck. Everybody's not fast as fuck. So you can't do a Katie Taylor game plan. Why? You're not fast as fuck. You can't do what she does. Artur, he's a two-handed puncher. So when he shoots a double jab, it's not the same thing as Joe Blow shooting a double jab. You know, it's going to have a different effect than Joe Blow shooting a double jab than Artur shooting a double jab. There's power on that jab. That elicits respect. Everybody's not going to get that respect off a double jab. But Caleb, look, Billy Joe Saunders is a better pure boxer than me to Caleb, bro. Like, he got better feet.
Bro,
disguises his
easily, but he's
better.
European, but he's from Europe, so people won't give him that credit.
Like he's just trickier. Like he just looks so, and he shifts. You know, Caleb is just.
In my opinion, he was giving, and I said this before, he was giving Canelo a much better fight than
because he was actually holding the center of the ring.
He was actually fighting,
and it's like Canelo to some shit. Turn Canelo, turn on his ass, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they was fighting with Caleb, man. Bitch, you just playing keep away. Keep away. For what was it, 11 rounds? All for 11 rounds. Like, come on, bro. The fuck out of here, bro. You know? So I don't think he's gonna win. But you know, boxing does have a way of surprising you. You know, I thought John Ryder was gonna get beat by Zach Parker. He didn't. You never know. And I was fairly confident that he would get beat, but he surprised me. He beat him. So, you know, you never know. You never know.
Okay, I got a question for you. We're switching gears here a little bit. Conor Benn, do you think he has a legitimate lawsuit against the BBBC?
Yes.
Because they took Vada's, so-called test when they weren't even involved in the whole process.
Robert Smith already let it out. Oh, we're going to have to tweak our regulations. Yeah, I know. See, if it were airtight, you don't have to tweak anything. You're covered. You're not covered, bro. And they can bring up how, well, wait a minute, Billy Joe Saunders tested positive for a banned substance by way of VADA in America, and you didn't adhere to that. But why are you adhering to this? Do you work in tandem with VADA? No. Do you adhere? This is the thing. You work in tandem with UCAD, and you exact penalties and your regulations based on UCAD's findings, not VADA's. So he can use that against you. And it's not that it's a slam dunk. It's that if this drags on, it's going to cost you a lot of money. That's the problem.
Well, how in the fuck did VADA even get? Like, how did VADA even get involved?
Because of the WBC. Because of the WBC, Conor's in the clean boxing program. That's how they're involved. That's their level of involvement. That he's in the CBP. The problem is you can't pick and choose. You can't keep picking and choosing. In fact, most of the time you don't adhere to anything VADA says. Most of the time. For some reason, you want to die on this hill, which makes me suspicious. That's why I'm suspicious. You don't be listening to shit VADA says. Look, what Billy Joe Saunders tested positive in Massachusetts, right? That's not even a banned substance to UCAD or the BBBOC. So I know you don't adhere to their provisions, and you don't even adhere to the same banned list they do. But all of a sudden, you want to swear by VADA. It's almost like somebody's telling you to do that. And all of a sudden, pay attention, fellas, because I haven't even gotten to do a segment on this. Oh, all of a sudden you want to regulate misfits? What do misfits and Conor Benn have in common?
The zone.
They're not real boxers.
No, it's not that. That's what it is, the zone. Now, who would benefit from running? Remember, Misfits is successful. As stupid as that shit is to us, it sells. They're getting metrics off that shit. Who would benefit from running Conor out of the UK and running Misfits out of the UK? Who would benefit from that?
Punk ass Frank.
Yep.
Oh, what the fuck do you care about Misfits? Beats said it best. There are white-collar boxing matches happening all the time in the UK. You don't give a fuck about none of that shit. You don't care about none of that shit that be going on. And it's a bunch of that shit. All of a sudden, you care about Misfits. Why?
Do you think he's going to be suing the WBC too along with the BBBC or what?
No, he's going to use the WBC's findings in court. See, this is what's going on. If he gave the 270-page document to the BBBOC, they could still decide to suspend him with everything it says. And if they suspend him, it'll be harder for him to get a license abroad. So he doesn't show them shit like, no, we're not even going to do that. I'm not even going to give you the chance to suspend me because I can still go somewhere else and get a license. In the mean in between time, I take you to court and I use the 270-page document in court as opposed to relying on you to rule in my favor. I'm going to go over you. I'm going to go to court and I'm going to drag this out until you concede to give me a license because that'll be cheaper than going through with this lawsuit.
Very true.
That's what I think the play is. If he went to them, if he gave them the document, they could still say, well, it all means the same thing, bro. You're responsible for what's in your body. You are banned from boxing in the UK for the next 4 years. They could still say that 270-page document and all, because all it says is that there is not conclusive evidence that he willfully ingested a banned substance. That's not enough, bro. They could still suspend you. The BBBOC, they could still suspend you. So he's going over them.
And Conor's problem now is this. He hasn't listened to Eddie or his attorneys. Just shut up and win in court.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. You don't got to keep selling it to people. And the more you try to do it, the worse you make it. How many guys on banned substances don't have fights coming up? Lucas Brown and Jarrell Miller are fighting this weekend. Nobody, no, bro, they don't care that much. But it's because I'm innocent and I'm killing it in the gym. Ask Tony, man, shut the fuck up, bro. Disappear and come back with a fight. Shut the fuck up. You went on Pierce Morgan and made it worse.
You know what I'm saying? Like, got it, coach. Good story. All right, thanks.
You know what I'm saying? He went on that shit. I thought he was going to say some shit. I'm like, bro, you might as well not went on there at all for the shit you did, bro. Pride. I won't tell him because of pride. Man, that's not enough, bro. That's not an answer, bro. No, on that note, I'm going to sleep, fellas. I'll catch you on the next one. For those that don't know, tomorrow night, by way of ESPN Plus, they're going to be showing Pascal versus Michael Eifert for the IBF Eliminator Mandatories. Shit.
Oh, what time is that?
Do you know what time that card starts?
I'm not going live for that shit. I don't think I'm gonna go live for that one or the Zero fight.
No, but what time is it on though?
I think it's 8 around there.
Are we getting a juiced up Pascal?
I hope so.
It's the only reason I want to watch it.
He won't even be live for that fight.
Is it 8 o'clock your time or our time?
Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ask Lou DeBella what was the drug testing for this fight.
Word.
Hey Jules, is that your time or our time though?
You gotta check ESPN. You gotta check your app, bro.
They were doing the smell test for the drug test.
On that note, gentlemen, I'll see you on the next one.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night, guys. Have a good night.
Been fun.
Thanks for having me on.
Cheers. Cheers.
All right.
Later, boys.